Welcome to Fanboy Modeling School.
Welcome, 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 welcome.
Fanboy Modeling School. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Modeling School. Hello and welcome to the Fanboy Modeling School. Of course, I am the Fat Mantis, now in HD, and I'm here with my boy.
Your man Steve, real name, no gimmicks. There's too many lights on in here. Why is this so bright in here? Maybe that's why my camera looks so good. How the hell you doing, bro?
Because you're drunk. Everything looks too bright when you're drunk. Am I right? Honestly, I know we're about fun and games and we're playfulness, but I wanted to start this off with a little gloom and doom. I first wanted to give before anything happens, I want to give thoughts and prayers. I know we hate that phrase, to everything that happened down in Tennessee today.
Right, amen.
School shooting, three youngsters, elementary aged,
9
and
years
3
old.
teachers taken from this earth because of a psychopath. I mean that's a tough one. But other than that, how was your day?
Man, it was a horrible fucking day, bro. I couldn't wait for it to end. I was trying to look for the positivity in the day, and I was just like, nah, it was a bad day. And it's okay to have bad days. And especially hearing this news and seeing stuff like this happen as a parent, it makes you very, very worried. But we're here to, bring some perspective. This is a Fanboy After Dark. So any Fanboy After Dark, if you're new, could very well be our last episode. So you know that.
That's the goal, actually. That's kind of the goal, to get canceled. Because then we can finally just admit that we were meant to always be on Rumble and just go there.
I know they just got to fix that licensing thing. Every time I read that part of the contract, I'm like, what? It seems like an old Motown.
Before contract. I joined, no, you're absolutely right. It's there to confuse you. You go, wait, they're like with the third party and second party, but not according to the fourth party. And you say, what?
Ergo vis-a-vis concordingly.
Right. And you're like, I'm trying to make content. Everything else, every other app makes it so easy to make content.
Bro, reading that contract makes me think, what was the guy's name in the white room that looked like Colonel Sanders in The Matrix?
The architect.
I feel like he should be the one reading you the contract for Rumble.
That would be awesome. Vis-a-vis. Matt says, I love the theme song. What's that from? I just take off. I look for non-copyrights, in this case, synthwave, on the internet. Yeah. I found that beat. I was like, I love this.
Yeah, Mantis killed it on that one.
Yeah, thank you. But thank you, Matt. He says, hail to the chat and hail to you, brother. We also got RM, red face, heart face, red face, heart face. Thank you. How does one enroll into the Fanboy Modeling School? Oh, that's a good question. We will talk. Welcome in Shaolin Iceboxer and Princess Bex and Rogue Radio.
What up, Rogue? So we got some honorable mentions tonight, right? Mm-hmm. After getting the somber news out, which we will touch on again, because I think it's important, just to have a fair and balanced show. So let's start with some shit that I find hilarious. Go ahead. I see you trying to talk.
Was I about to talk? I'm not
sure. No, you were doing a Dan Rather thing. We were just like,
I was like,
But anyway, you guys know, man, DJ Akademiks is a case to be studied on the internet. If you want to model yourself after someone successful, he is someone to examine that's managed to do nearly the impossible. He has broke through the glass ceiling that is put there by mainstream media to protect hip-hop artists and other topics, and he's just killing it. The man does 8-hour streams with 9 people on a Discord call. So you come in there to have a conversation or to confront him, and then there's like his troll team is in the background dissing you at the same time.
Okay, well, wait, one thing. It is crazy the people who do make it as content creators, but you know what they all have? Like, look at Star, look at DJ Akademiks, look at a bunch of these other people. You know what they all have in common?
What?
They hustle and they work and they grind.
They do.
They will stream hours and hours a day to make it happen.
Yeah.
And so if you're looking to get into this game, the thing you should emulate from these people is that work ethic.
Yeah. And here's the crazy thing, man. So before I get into why DJ Akademiks is on my mind, right? Actually, forget that. Let's just get there. So there's a gentleman by the name of Sharp that has joined the No Jumper crew. He became famous because of Soft White Underbelly. Great interview show. Shout out to Soft White Underbelly.
That is
very intense. Very intense.
Very intense. YouTube channel.
He's a former pimp that came on and was interviewed. His most popular one was the first one where he gives everyone a look and understanding of what he calls the ism. And because of the popularity of that one interview, he got multiple interviews where he actually took Mark, that's the guy from Soft White Underbelly, to the Players Ball in Detroit. And, Mark was talking to people and stuff. And then he does the next viral moment for him where he does an interview with Adam 22, another one of our favorite topics, and someone I cover constantly on my own channel on No Jumper. And that interview blew up because people saw Sharp's personality. He's a smooth talker. He's extremely intelligent, right? He's able to articulate that intelligence because usually those things for some people don't go hand in hand. But he's a smooth motherfucker, and he light skinned. So the world took to him. Him and Akademiks have been going back and forth. Remember how last week I told you there are internet black belts out here? Akademiks is an internet black belt. Just go ahead and play it. Play this.
Finna donate the money to, gang. This is her name right here. The show live here no more. Don't worry about the address. Her name is Misty Dawn Marie Evelyn. Here's Sharp when he was human trafficking women.
Yo, I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. Before we first comment I have to say is that this is gonna sound horrible, but anytime there's a girl named Dawn Marie, even as a middle name, she a hoe. She is a damn hoe. And no offense to anyone whose mother and who's listening, whose mother's name that, your sister's name that, or your name that, but there seems to be a correlation to Dawn Marie's and hoism. Just saying.
No, absolutely.
I've met a few Dawn Maries in my life. All hoes.
They all broke your heart.
No, they were hoes. They were just hoes.
So here's the crazy thing about what Akademiks is about to do, right? He is going to line Sharp up. Because the one thing I always wondered, I was like, man, no one ever gets as Sharp in this day and age, quote unquote, cancel culture. After post Me Too movement, no one ever gets at him about this. Not the women that come up that he spazzes on, and but most of them are porn stars and OnlyFans girls. I'm like, but no one ever hit him with this. So Akademiks is going to use his best weapon ever. He's going to use the cancel card. I believe Akademiks is trying to get Sharp canceled and end his career. Continue. Play the video.
Wait. One thing he says is real quick. Last week, you revealed Sneeko to me, and I never listened to that hack again because you can't take him seriously now. But please don't ruin Pearl for me. I just love Pearly things. I love her too, and the story we have set up, I will not make you disrespect her. It's actually funny. It's cute and funny. She's always cute and funny.
Disgusting human being. Disgusting human being.
We need to start doing this on Fanboy.
Okay, here's Sharp.
Putting up pictures of people we don't.
He couldn't make an honest dollar any other way, so he was manipulating and pimping women. This was one of his victims. I hear she got a story to tell. This is a seasoned bitch too. She was born in 1980. Okay, she's 40 years of age right now. Apparently, he had her on the needle.
Oh my God.
She was taking all type of
But
illicit.
yo, I'm not defending pimps in any way, but I have to say, I hate it when people are like, he got her on the needle. Maybe she got herself on the needle.
Well,
I can't stand that. All the blame goes on the pimp. I'm like, yo, sometimes girls literally seek out pimps to be like, I hear you're a great pimp. I can make money with you because they're already fucked up people.
Here's the crazy thing, right? Now, in no way, shape, or form, I'm going to make a case for sex trafficking in any way, shape, or form. But I did watch another interview with a woman who was in the ism, as they like to call it, because they don't actually call it the pimp in the whole game in public. They call it the ism. And she described herself as she didn't describe, she said it. She was this was the lifestyle she sought out. I don't know what other underlying traumas may have pushed her in that direction. I'm sure they are present, but it's an interesting thing. Now, what Akademiks is doing, my good man Mantis, is showing Sharp that I am going to use the most obvious thing to destroy you. I'm going to use the thing that made you famous to be the thing that buries you. Now, the question is, will other people dogpile on this? Will other people start virtual signaling and start getting in here?
Oh, I get it. This is all theater.
Yes.
Yo, Princess Beck says Sharp is amazing. This is slander.
There you go, bro.
Oh, well, let's see.
Drugs because Sharp kept her high and ready to work. I want to donate the money from the Caldego t-shirts to her.
So I just want to give you context. The Caldego thing is Sharp was, and don't worry about the names. If you're not tapped into like the hip hop culture and street culture, don't worry about that. But Sharp was beefing with a guy who considers himself the new Suge Knight called Whack 100, and Whack 100 pressed him on Clubhouse, and that's where this whole little meme
he
called
calls himself Whack 100. That is
his name is Whack 100.
Fucking name you could ever.
Easy. That motherfucker. He is another person. He's got time. He's on the internet. So just like looking for people saying his name. But the crazy thing is, so that's what the Caldego thing comes from, because Sharp's, he's from Vegas and by way of San Diego, and he was like, you want to know about me? Caldego. So this troll, Akademiks, turned it into a clippable meme, and now he's selling merch called Caldego. Continue.
You ruined this young woman's life.
I'm sorry.
You got her hooked on drugs. And you sold her vagina to many niggas in Las Vegas. I want to donate the money from them shirts to her. If you a man, you go match it. But I know you won't.
Oh my God.
KO.
That is what's up. First one I want to point out, I know this looks like we're laughing at human trafficking, but we're not. We are not laughing at human trafficking.
We're not. I'm laughing at the clear usage of subterfuge, a word I didn't even know existed until I met Mantis many moons ago.
Don't you are sneaky.
Yeah, you surely did.
RM says you sold her vagina.
Yo, this is a death sentence. I don't know how Sharp can like come back from this. I think his only path to victory, or at least not getting dismantled, is like, hey, I'm a former pimp, right? And he's said multiple times he's never confused a woman, tricked a woman in being with him. His claim is that he always wanted someone that wanted to be right next to him. Now that's some slick pimp shit to say, but so we'd have to test that. But this is a KO. It's a KO.
Yo,
Caldego. Sharp. Who is Misty, Sharp? Who is Misty? We're gonna donate the money to Misty.
Misty Dawn Marie. Look at
all
the way
you
she
did was take advantage of this woman while we're gonna put money in her pockets. She don't gotta do nothing for us.
No offense, this girl was born to be a prostitute.
Oh my God!
Like Misty Dawn Marie, 2 E's, no I. Dawn Marie is one word. What fucking trailer did this shit come from?
It's either that, what you just said, or she was born to be a Klansman's wife.
Right.
From what I heard, when your horny ass couldn't get yourself off, you were sleeping with her. And if you couldn't sleep with her because you couldn't make $1 because you're a bum, you used to sell her China. We don't do that, brother. This is why we can't support niggas like you. all that slick talking, pimp name, slick back shit. We need some accountability, Sharp.
You see
Who
what he's
is
doing, man? You see how
Misty?
genius this is?
Yeah. Arm says, I hope he got it for permission.
We want
looks
to
like
find
he's
this
trying to
woman.
turn her
I want
life
to get her on the
around
live stream, and I want to
to be
donate
used
to her.
for a beat.
He most certainly did not get her permission, but
She
Akademiks can pick it
deserves
up.
to be looked after. She deserves not to be trafficked
Because he doesn't
by
really
someone
care
like a
about her.
predator.
He's just trying to diss Sharp.
like Sharpie.
Sharpie.
Sharpie can't get nothing off with no niggas, but of course he can get it off with some females. We don't tolerate that.
Now pause it. Here's something I gotta add for
Sharpie,
context. I'm sorry, man. So Akademiks, if you don't know, is close friends. His words, right, with Tekashi 6ix9ine. Akademiks,
My favorite rapper.
shout out to Mantis for his Tekashi coverage over the years. Akademiks has been accused of only barking on women. Right? Some people say he only gets gully. That's a word to describe a type of behavior towards women. I would say that's not entirely true, but he definitely goes after rappers for sure. He's said some wild shit about Meek Mill.
Everyone talks shit about Meek.
Corey Gates. Like he definitely goes after, but like that's a narrative that's been spun around him. Also, he is not red pill, but he is red pill adjacent. So he hangs out with Fresh and Fit a lot, or he used to hang out with them a lot. I haven't seen him really around there much. He used their studio. He's been on their show countless times. Continue, and then I'm going to bring in my favorite two champions. Now, they're not black belts. They're beyond that. They are the champions of internet beef. Continue.
Hello, Laney. Welcome to
What
the
up, Laney?
stream. We are looking at Akademiks.
I checked the last math. We $3,000 and counting. If somebody could find Misty, and by the way, we gonna make sure that Sharp don't get the money because I don't know if Sharp's still pimping her. Like no disrespect. So we got to make sure she no longer. She got to talk to us on stream that to make sure she no longer has to do with anything with the predator known as Sharp, and we will send her the money. Right now, it's $3,000 plus and counting.
Okay.
There you go.
Yo, can I
Sharp.
Okay, I gotta say this. But if you're a real badass, if Sharp really, really, really wanted to be badass, he would say publicly, "Yeah, I'm pimping her, and what the fuck is it? You got nothing to say to me, bitch." And this the end.
And she's sitting right there next to him, like,
yeah,
you just
on
had
the
some
video.
gelato. It was a great day.
I mean, am I right?
No, 100%. But I think the way Sharp is going to respond is going to be like, not only am I going to match it, I already sent her 6 Gs right now. That's like his best move. But I won't say this is let me stop saying it's a KO. This was a genius response for Akademiks, who is, he's a smart guy. Maybe you don't like the thing he says, you don't like his cadence, all that stuff, but he's an intelligent dude. Good.
Were you going to put on the other next video? What?
Oh, we got to finish this, but because it's like a slow car crash. I'm sorry, brother.
You could try to atone for your sins. Right now, the chat niggas have racked up $3,000 at least in merch sales for the Call Dago t-shirts. We're only selling them for $30 a piece. Do the math. You could match it, but you won't. You won't.
Arm says, I feel like this could lead to a lawsuit, but we know Misty Dawn Marie can't afford a lawyer. All her money goes
there's
to
a lot of Misty or mystery in your history.
Matt says, hey guys, when are we starting our
flow
beef?
We were looking for this woman.
Hell yeah.
Tonight. The woman who was caught was Sharp.
Look at this.
When Sharp was allegedly fucking on her and also pimping her.
God damn.
In Las Vegas. Holy shit.
Right,
you could tell me or put me in contact with Misty.
Laney's there for the face.
I have a reward for you.
See, he's going to pay people to dig up dirt on Sharp.
I know you're a baseless, desperate pimp who's so desperate for money. I see that you're like, yo, give me 100,000, give me 100,000. Kick rocks, nigga. I know you hope to go get some money out of this, but this is for the ladies that you victimize.
God damn. All right, you can kill it. You can kill it there, man.
By the way, if y'all.
So I just want to hear from the chat. What do you guys think? Was that an absolute decimation of Sharp Was that the perfect way to handle someone publicly on these internet streets? How would you handle the beef? What are your thoughts, Matt? I'm sorry, not Matt. Mantis.
So I think that this is brilliant. I would have never seen it coming.
Right.
And I would have actually sat down and been like, what the fuck should I do? Because I did just think of like, the I don't give a fuck. I'm so hood, I don't give a fuck move.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that could go either way, right?
Yeah, right.
People either respect that or hate you more, right? So
they'll be like, what the
yeah. Matt says, I'll be honest, I was confused about the whole thing.
It's confusing. And you know what? It's because I'm out here in these streets, Matt, getting all this information for you folks. Let me just surmise it this way. A pimp got a second chance in life. He started a beef with a man that's a known troll and does this for a living. And now that man that's a known troll completely opened up the flood work on him. Now, some people were in Akademiks comments. They were like, man, who's more petty, Akademiks or 50 Cent? Because in case you don't know, 50 Cent is not the type of guy to forget or leave you alone after a beef. Like, it could be 10 years later. He'll buy out all the seats at your concert and be the only one sitting there.
All right.
Which he, not with a front row, which he did to Ja Rule. But they were like, who's more petty, Akademiks or 50 Cent? Everyone's like 50's on a different level with it. And then in one comment, one guy noticed they had like 100 replies to it. He's like, how come Akademiks didn't have the same energy for ABBA and Preach when they called him a clown? He only said one thing and left it alone. I'll tell you why. ABBA and Preach are professional working comedians. These are not the people you want to be clowning with on the internet. They sit around all day thinking about jokes to make about you. Look at what they did to Sneeko. Look what they did to Andrew Tate. Well, not really so much Tate, but other people. Look what they did to Fresh and Fit. I'm surprised that Fresh and Fit survived that absolute decimation from ABBA and Preach. You know who ABBA and Preach are, right?
Yeah, no, I do. But also, if knowing what I know about Fresh and Fit, they're such knuckleheads that they won't even understand that they were destroyed.
No, they didn't. They didn't get the memo.
You know, they're like, huh? Well, whatever, kind of shit.
We're alphas. We're alphas.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the trolling's good. I mean, we have to prepare. Maybe one day we might have beef like with Matt, for instance, and we need to bring it.
I'm watching you, Matt. Actually, I plan on handling the trolling the same way Jay and Silent Bob handled it at the end of their movie. You write something bad about me on the internet, I will show up to your house like, are you Dazzle Boy kills them all the time 999? Did you call me a Mantis? Two old mofos who, quote, should get off the internet? Now I'm going to go fuck your mother. If I wasn't married, of course.
Well, that's what I'm here for.
That's what
like, you're going to drive me over and I'm going to fuck his mother.
Mantis, you get up there and make him a step. Make him a half brother right now.
I'll be like, I'm your stepdad. He's going to come in. I'm going to read in the paper, in my boxes.
Make sure my coffee's hot by the time I get downstairs every morning.
Steve says, Matt says, Steve, I'm on my way. I'm showing up at your house.
Steve, I'm the same way. Comment reading motherfucker. He said, Steve, I'm the same way. Look, you almost kicked off the fake beef right now, man. Oh, my goodness.
Batcat, you ain't shit. I saw your coverage on Lois and Superman. It was garbage.
Oh shit.
But no, seriously, your coverage on our next story, Mad Cat, was hysterical. It had me in stitches, actually.
What was that?
Oh well, are we ready for story 2?
We're ready for story 2. Well, this is going to be the first story. This was just honorable mentions.
This was actually a very powerful honorable mention.
Mm-hmm.
But I love stories about pimps and hoes, so we had to do it.
Pimps and hoes, boats and hoes.
I think everyone is talking about this in these streets, and we've got to talk about it. What the fuck is going on with one Jonathan Majors?
Man, I got to tell you, your coverage of that was hilarious. That part where you go to black and white, it's just like because I was feeling the same way when I saw the news break. I was like, why why is this happening to me? Why is this? I don't even care about Kang as a character. I care about the MCU not taking another L. And that sounds horrible because if someone was victimized, I want you to know that I care about that too. But mostly I care about the MCU.
Actually, let me, yes, no, you know why you're right, and why a lot of people on Twitter have the take that you're an asshole. They don't know you, Steve, but their take is that you're an asshole because of what you just said. And the way they phrase it is they say, if seeing this story, the first thing you thought was, what's going to happen to the MCU, then you were a fucked up person. Like, a lot of tweets are like this. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, I don't fucking know Jonathan Majors, and neither do you. I don't know his girlfriend or whoever was in the car that he was strangling. We don't know any of these people. But what we do know is the movies. So, of course, it's totally natural to worry about our own movie or really how this affects us in our lives. Ileana Abreu, welcome on. You are matching colors. Oh, it's Lizzie Lou. What up? But you know what I'm saying? So, I just don't see why we're assholes because we're worried about our favorite movie franchise.
F it, fuck it. It's an After Dark episode. Let's be real. The first thought in your head is always the true one, right? And then all your programming about decency and these things, learned behaviors, all those things kick in afterwards, right? But also, you know what was in my mind at the beginning? Because I have to think this way now. I'm like, man, if he did this, he's a piece of shit. If he didn't do it, she's a piece of shit. And of course, the first thought was to think about this beloved property. I'm like, holy shit, man, this guy is like at the center of everything that I'm going to be talking about and living for. Yeah, I said it. Go fuck yourself, you blue-haired freaks.
all these Twitter people, people in general, most people live off of a social construction. And the social construction is that you have to virtue signal that you're a nicer person than you actually are.
Right.
But the truth is that people's first thought about anything is, how does this affect me?
Right.
You know what I mean? If I told you, I was like, yo, my man, I'm moving to New Jersey. The first thought in your head would probably be like, how does this affect me? Which is totally normal.
Yeah, no, and it's totally cool. And if you move to Jersey, that would actually be a lot easier for me because then I could like actually, depending on what part of Jersey, I'd come see you more often. But you're,
that was random. Maybe I should move to Jersey.
Dirty Jersey. It's for you, man.
And that says, yeah, I like Jonathan Majors, and I'm looking at this like Johnny Depp. I don't know what happened, and I'm not jumping into conclusions. Yes,
it's interesting that you said that because the young lady has retracted her statement, and then the tweets. Go ahead.
Yo, in writing. She didn't just retract it. She put a statement in writing saying I lied to the police.
Yeah. And obviously the tweets coming in now are like, well, she's a woman being manipulated. This is par of the course for someone experiencing no, I do not live in Jersey, Lizzie. I do not. But I live in a strange area where I'm exactly 10 minutes away from Jersey and Pennsylvania at the same time.
So the weird place you live is so weird. If you're walking to get your paper and you stray too far left on the road, you'll be in Jersey.
Yeah.
And if you stray too much to the right, you'll be in hell. So it's like,
AKA Pennsylvania.
Jersey is gross, says Matt. Then Matt says, yeah, she has, but they still arrested and pressed. So I got to explain this. And actually, one of our favorites was talking about how it didn't make sense that he still got arrested. One of our YouTubers, we will not mention this person's name, but this person is probably so privileged they have never had real encounters with police in New York City, despite her living there.
Right. So before you jump into that, not only did she retract it, it also looks as if though the whole part about the physical lacerations and all those things that might have been fudged as well. And it turns out Jonathan Majors called the police himself.
That will happen. That will absolutely happen. I've heard cases. I've heard mad cases like this. And so
did I blow a liberal's mind? Did your blue hair sink back into your system? He called the police himself. Why would the abuser call the police? You can take it to all these obvious places where it's like, well, he's gaslighting her and clearly he's the devil. Or could the most obvious answer be the correct one? that maybe Jonathan Majors himself was in duress and he needed the police to come intervene. And is it possible in a world where women understand that they have the power in this scenario, that maybe she played up some things, did some damage to herself, and the police took him because that is the protocol? You arrest the person who is not bruised. I'm just wondering.
Well, I'll tell you. For those of you, and this might change the way you look at me or whatever, but I have been arrested for arguing with my girlfriend. Her neighbor called the police. It was a huge screaming match. I promise you, it was not pretty. When the cops showed up, we were both fine, and I got arrested. And then they said, we're arresting you. And I said, why? And the guy said, we just always arrest the man. He literally fucking said that to me when he locked me up, when he brought me to lockup. Charges ended up being dismissed. It was like, whatever. But still, that is what it is. But also, those who don't know, in New York State, you don't even have to have a complainant for them to arrest you on domestic. If a police officer even has an inkling that some sort of domestic thing can go down, you don't even have a complainant. They don't even have to see a wound on somebody. They can still arrest you. And they do often just for prudency, because they don't want to lose their badge.
Yeah.
They don't want later on this turning out that he was abusing her. Because you know what? Another thing is that, I mean, let's face it, this is true. Battered women are often the first ones to retract their statements.
Yeah, no, that's a part of it. So there's always a reason for where we're at, right? Obviously, the response that police have to domestic situations comes to the fact of their lackadaisical response to it in years past, right? They would show up and do nothing. I'm not discounting that. There is a reason that that we're in the state that we're in. But I think one thing that happens that people don't want to take into consideration, and I'm not going to dox anyone, man. I know so many guys who have been falsely accused of this, who have done time behind it and had to plead out, because if you've never been in the justice system before, the first thing they do is try to get you to plead to a lesser charge, because their ultimate goal is to keep you there long enough if you can't afford a private attorney, where after about 4 or 5 weeks in Rikers Island County Jail, if you've never been in these places, you're going to take a plea. A lot of people are going to take a plea.
That is just going too far. That is crazy. I even have a female friend who, she lied on her man and admitted it to me. And I was like, wow. He didn't really hit you? And she was like, yeah. He's like, he's been cheating on me. And she's like, I'm just teaching him a lesson. And then later in that evening, she went and recanted and he got let out. But I had never seen it go to the point where they actually convict the motherfucker. That's
right. Yeah. No, I've seen it. Conviction by plea, right? So they dumb down a charge and you plead to it, but you're still
plea because you don't want to. Yeah, you don't want the fire. Yeah. Lizzie says the default is to arrest the man. Matt says why? Yeah, why are men always getting the shaft? It's true. We got
not always, but a lot nowadays.
Yeah, and so what's funny is how I was laughing at Matt's original coverage of this. The thing I thought was funny, really funny in his coverage of this was Matt Cat's video. He says, he stops in the middle of talking about it and he says, I don't understand why people get so physical when with your spouse. He's like, my wife drives me fucking crazy all the time, but I never want to hit her. And in the comments, I was like, well, sometimes women push people.
Men you're going to a dangerous place right now. You're going to the Bill Burr, there's never excuse to hit a woman argument right now.
But what I'm saying is, if a woman lies and says you're a batter when you're not, that might be a good reason to batter her.
Hey, listen, check this out, right? So I have a few simple rules in my reformed life. I will always, just like Sharp, I'm waiting for the day someone does an expose video on me where they're like, this motherfucker was the devil back in the day. And I'm like, yeah, I was. I gotta hold that. But I gotta say this, man. I just want to throw this out there. When it comes to physical altercations, it does not matter to me how many letters are next to your people group. If you put your hands on me or someone I love, I do not care about any of those other things. And I've been in situations before where I'm like, you sure you want to do this? You got a do-rag on. You're wearing baggy clothes. I can't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say it out loud because I know this is a sensitive topic, but yeah, you come at me. How much longer do you think I'm gonna stand? You think I'm gonna stand there and be like, whoa, civility states that I should possibly allow you to pounce on me and throttle me within an inch of my life?
You're saying if they get physical, if they get crazy physical.
I'm just saying words out loud on the internet, man. Don't put any meaning to it. Just know that your boy Steve will defend himself against all threats, no matter where they come from.
I don't know how you feel, but like I'm actually the type of motherfucker who I've had several girls hit me, and like not on the regular, but in a fight, they get pissed at me and they hit me, and I'm just like, and I just take it. I'm just like, okay. It's never been closed fist though. It's it's
so it's different with the woman you love, right?
Yeah,
it's different right? Because you're just like, damn, babe. Well, all I said was I didn't want eggs for breakfast. What's the response here? You know what I'm saying?
You know the types of fiery women I get with.
It's another thing where I saw 4 studs jump a dude in New York, and he could have had that coming, but you know what he didn't do? He didn't. You know what a stud is, right?
Please reiterate.
Oh, okay. Does anyone in chat not know what a stud is? If you don't know what a stud is, drop a 1 in the chat.
I think I know the old school term stud. I don't think I knew the way.
What's the old school term stud? What do you think?
Stud was a dude, was a fine specimen of a dude.
Okay, yeah, that was the original, right? And now a stud describes a masculine female in the LGBT community.
Okay.
I saw 4 studs jump a dude on Christopher Street. I thought you were there, but I was sitting on a stoop when some people were drinking 40 ounces.
And of course, it's on Christopher Street, right?
And when like they jumped this dude, and I was like, man, he didn't throw 1 punch back. And I kept thinking to myself, that wouldn't have been my response, because they hit him in the head with a 40-ounce bottle as well. And I was like, nah.
I assume he's not dating them, so he has the right to throw back. Yeah, I mean, it was Christopher Street, so we know he's not dating any of these chicks. Lo says, you look dangerous, Mantis. I'd probably arrest you too, even if I saw you gently blowing a daffodil into the spring breeze. Yeah.
If he was doing that, I would say arrest him for sure. I'm like, that guy's clearly Pennywise incarnate. Go ahead.
Lizzie Lou says, I wish we could put more of a spotlight on female abusers, especially abusive mothers.
Yeah, Lizzie, you swinging from you swinging from the fences right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's dangerous talk, Lizzie.
The Uber driver and video footage should tell us what really happened. Just wait for TMZ to leak it. Yeah, for them to buy it, they're gonna buy it off the cops. TMZ just bribes everybody, right? They just bribe everybody.
I'm gonna make a prediction. If the footage shows Jonathan Majors abusing his girlfriend, it's gonna be leaked. If it shows her abusing him and abusing herself,
we'll never
see the light of day. Right. It will never see the light of day. This thing will go the way of the dodo bird. Like, we'll never fucking.
I'm wondering if they're still pressing charges, because maybe he did. Maybe the video does show something. That's the evidence they're going to bring to court.
Well, they need to have some evidence to be able to continue pressing charges, right? They have to have something.
So they either have the Uber driver speaking or the video. Right.
So here's the thing, though, right? It's up to the district attorney to follow up with the charges, right? We'll see what the DA wants to do.
Maybe the DA is waiting for a Disney payoff.
Oh,
he's like, we're going to convict him to the fullest extent of the law, Kevin Feige.
Maybe the DA had a bad experience at the Disney park, went there. Maybe his daughter was one of those little black girls that they didn't wave to.
Oh, that the animals, the characters didn't like come be nice.
The truth is coming out, Mantis.
This is all Chapek's fault. This is all Chape because he ruined those parks.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? Star covered this, and Star refers to himself as the king of the crab bucket, and he was like, "Yo, the shit he said, I could not believe it. I almost want you to play it because I will not be able to say it."
Send it to me.
I'll send it to you right now, man. This is like next level shit right here. Hold on, I got you.
Matt says, man, I'm on Jonathan Major's side. She tried to take his phone. She deserves a hit for that. This is a joke. Calm down, people. Too many women get to keep their kids after having every red flag in the CPS handbook.
Amen. Was that Lizzie that said that? I assume it was.
Lo says, in high school, one of my friends was arrested in school on a false rape charge. It ruined his life. That will absolutely ruin. And actually, there's another thing we're not talking about.
What's that, brother?
The fact that the mere accusation destroys a man's life. This has already damaged his career.
Oh yeah, he's already lost endorsements, and he won't get him back. Well,
won't get him back.
You know what? I could be wrong about that because Johnny Depp got almost all of his endorsements back. They could not wait to put him on that goddamn perfume
but
commercial.
Johnny's white.
Oh, so the layers. Yo, I just sent it to you in Discord. Black belt shit right here, man. Star is.
Wait, where?
Wait, did I send it to the wrong chat? Oh shit, I did. Oh my bad.
You're like, that's my home and gardening chat.
I told you not to fucking talk about that shit in public. It's an art. Does it make me weird? Does it make me weird? The little tomatoes, they're growing. Star, if you don't know who Star is he's the guy that kicked off a lot of this shit in regards to content creation, but he used to be an old school radio host on Hot 97. He's done so much in the industry, man. I look up to him. He's a bit of a dick, but
he's funny as hell, though. I think he's funny as hell.
Oh, he is. Yeah. Do not call him brother. He does not believe in tribalism.
Star Report Sunday evening. I'm your host, Troy Terrain, PKA Star, repping Scotch Plains, New Jersey. Okay, folks, we have a national mammy alert.
Listen to this.
National mammy alert. Mammy went ballistic down there outside of Fort Lauderdale in Florida. Ran over her friend, her childhood friend, Friday, right before 9 a.m. So somebody was up late night Thursday, woofing and barking, bucking and clucking. We don't have the full story just yet, but ran over her friend. Her friend jumped on the hood of the car. I'm not going to say the names just yet, but I got stories right here. And then one mammy fell off the hood of the car. And then the other mammy swerved the goddamn vehicle around and then ran over her head. Now she's okay. She's not dead, but damn. Right outside of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Okay, so she's in the hospital, surgery. And then the mother, I saw the mother doing, talking to the news camera.
But this also lends to the topic.
I'm not going to say her name either just yet, but what was it about? Can we just guess? Can we do hypotheticals today?
Why the mammies are trying to kill each other?
Let's argue over some good dick. Oh, you knew that was my man? The fuck? We supposed to be friends? Why you all up in his DMs? Pow, pow, pow. They were fighting Thursday night. We smashed the back window of the girl who got...
Lizzie says, we teach this to our kids. If a kid hits you, you hit them back. Or eternally, don't hit anyone 100%. Ever because it's wrong and they can hit you back. We do teach this to the kids. And so I would teach... I'm going to be real with you. I don't have kids, but I would teach them to hit back.
What did you just say?
I would teach if I had a son and he was going to school, I would say if someone hits you, you hit them back.
Oh yeah, 100%. I would say so. I want to give my kids the training and the ability to do that, right? So if my kids have the training, obviously, my eldest was doing wrestling. I want to get him into jits. My response is going to be similar to yours. If someone hits you, restrain them, and then if they continue to try hitting you, break that kid's arm.
There we go.
Break his little arm. If he is bullying my son, I don't need to worry about the societal implications of this. Break his arm. You restrained him once. He came at you again. Break his arm or dislocate it, whatever you want to do.
Yeah. But basically, you got to teach him to stay away. Teach him that the fire is hot.
Like teach him that there are consequences for being a weenie and trying to pick fights with the mixed kid in school. Continue. Let's hear it. Speaking of mixed kids, this is always the king of the mixed
mother's
kids.
Vehicle. Childhood friends, right? Also, down in Mississippi, a mammy went 10 toes down, sadly, shot and killed her husband. Now, I've got a story here that they're trying to say he was gay, but even if he was, he put 4 babies up in this mammy. And I watched the video because at some point the video went off and then you can only hear audio. And he kept telling the mammy, get off me, stop touching me. And then you heard the older mammy, the grandma mammy of the mammy who shot the husband. She's in the background. Well, she was always in the background, amping up the set, putting sauce on it, and it got so bad to the point where I guess the mother of the 4 children, he has to have
I
4
actually
children.
think he's better than
just hit him in the
Akademiks,
chest.
to be honest with
Pow!
He is definitely as a showman
starts-
because like, but you know what I love? His lingo is still very 90s.
Yeah, it's so 90s New York, right?
It's so 90s.
so 90s New York. I love it.
He's like, lighten up the set, throwing sauce on it.
Now, both of these mammies have been arrested, but I'm saying
Matt
we have a
wants to know
mammy alert
what a
because
mammy is.
there's something about
offline.
today's-
Oh, fuck it. It's after dark. A mammy, what the way Star is using it, I want you to think about the Ancient Mama characters that you see in slavery films. He refers to mammies as women in the minority community that are harmful to our image. So that's as far as I can go.
Oh, but you're not. Yeah, I was like, you're not going to go into detail about what is harmful. Okay, I feel that.
I mean, I can.
And I feel like it means specific, something specific.
It means exactly what you're probably thinking.
Okay. I mean, I know what a mammy is.
Yes.
Matt says, I funny to you? What am I, a clown to you? My 45-minute bye sister video will be going up tomorrow. RM says that was Rosita at Sesame Street, at Sesame Place.
Oh,
Rosita committed Latina Muppet versus black children racism.
Oh, damn.
What else we got? Lowe says, if someone hits you, I'll teach him to come back the next day with a taser and stop his heart. Jesus Christ. People are just getting loose. People are just getting loose with it. Matt says, that's what I tell my kids. If someone hits you, knock the shit out of them. Don't call CPS.
No, so here's my thing with this thing, right? Your kid's the prick, right? So what? Under these liberal standards, I gotta let my kid get bloodied because your kid has some type of autistic mannerism or whatever diagnosis they're trying to give him. No, fuck that. Restrain him once. If he comes back, break his arm or his jaw so he never comes around here again. And if his dad's got an issue, I'm showing up there like, you're gonna regret this. Like, I promise you.
And I'm gonna get conspiratorial and aggressive right now. Basically, they want to teach our kids
to be
not to defend themselves because that's the state they want to live in the future. Right. Leftist states, they like, for instance, in New York, someone could break into my home, rape and murder my mother, and I could shoot him dead, and I would get in trouble
because you didn't understand Of course, you monster. You didn't understand the mitigating factors that led to him breaking into your home and graping. You can't say that word, by the way.
Oh,
graping your wife and murdering your family because he had a rough dealing. I want you to know this, right? I give no warning shots. You come on the acreage of the hold up estate. I'm going to assume your intentions are hostile. I'm going to shoot you before you get down the fucking driveway. Right? Like, for real.
They would rather someone break into your home and kill your entire family and then they investigate later on than you to raise a single finger to defend yourself.
Yeah. And I'm going to take it really deep conspiratorial. That's how China gets us. That's how these other governments get us. They have already put their bad actors in place where they're like, we will completely feminize every man in your country. I said it, not Mantis. We're going to make you doubt masculinity, the ability to defend yourself, the right to defend yourself, and when you should defend yourself. We will muddle the waters to the point where you're so freaking confused and you're taking everything into consideration that when we're red dawning into your fucking country, right, you're going to be like, obviously we did something to deserve this.
I fucking love that, man. I love that you said red dawning into the country, but that's what they want, man.
Oh man, we got 10 lovely souls up in here. You're with us on a Fanboy After Dark. You guys seem to enjoy our reaction content, so we're gonna keep going.
Yeah.
Can you play our grandfather star? This is the man You remember Star on the radios?
Oh, I do. Yo, back in high school, I used to listen to this motherfucker in the mornings.
Yo, parents would not let their kids listen to this dude. He's basically like an anti. Well, I'm sorry, he is the Antichrist. He calls himself that. He literally says, "I do not believe in the theory of God." And then he's the only person I ever heard that had almost what resembled an eloquent, inappropriate response. He's like, what did this psychopath said? Improbability is not proof of. Oh my God! Improbability is not proof of sentient design. So he's trying to say that the Reformed Christian response is it's so improbable that everything happened by accident. There has to be creative design behind it. He's an atheist scumbag, but play the shit. I respect
they are. But I remember Star and Buck Wild in the mornings. I used to listen to them on my way to high school.
You know what he got kicked off the air for, right? You remember when Leah died, he played the airplane crashing sound. It was like
I didn't know that was what it was.
He's a psycho. And he never apologized. Never apologized. He didn't even get fired for that. He left.
Right. I'm sure because they gave him just beef. They gave him such flack.
Yeah. And one more thing. He is another man that gave Akademiks an L on the internet. They're cool now, but Akademiks, after Everyday Struggle, which we all know Akademiks from. If you don't know what it is, don't worry about it. He was on there with Joe Budden. Joe Budden left because they couldn't work out the contract. They brought Star in, and I don't think they really understood who they were bringing in. So the concept for Everyday Struggle was it's Akademiks and someone else talking about hip hop and various different issues. And Star went on there and manhandled him because it's Star, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's the comedian you expect to be heckled if you're in his presence.
Yeah, he's gonna make you feel stupid. He's gonna make you feel stupid. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Rogue Grady said, "No, it's fine." Rogue Grady says, "I was always told to break their nose and walk away.
Break the nose.
Fry that little scrub's insides." He's talking about his taser.
Black woman. Yes, today's black woman and Hispanic. Don't let these Hispanics get away. I always tell you that. They just go ballistic. Okay. Also, we're going to get to Jonathan Majors shortly. The actor, I don't know all of his details, but he was scheduled to be in the upcoming MCU films.
Matt's laughing his ass off. He says the plane noise.
I am King Crab, in case you don't know, and I want to pull him back into the bucket.
Yeah, Matt, he is a star. The Star Report. It's called.
He was. He is the star of the new Creed 3 film and Ant-Man.
Just give it one click. There we go.
Arrested for choking a white woman, supposedly his girlfriend in New York City. He and his lawyers saying he's innocent, yada yada yada, and the white woman has retracted her story, but he was arrested. Who is this nigga trying to get away from us, huh? Come on back in the bucket where it's warm. You're out there in the world where it's cold. Avengers 5 lead actor accused. I'm sorry, Troll Babies, good evening. Did he film anything for the Avengers 5 yet? Can we prevent that from happening? I'm sipping Snoop Dogg's Cali Red again.
That's it. That's all he said.
Snoop, we gotta talk. Guys,
oh my God, black belt.
Yo, he is a black belt. That was great. Matt says feminists are 100%. I'm sorry. Lowe says feminists are 100% fair game. I think it's perfectly fine for an adult man to hit a feminist.
Oh shit.
This is Fanboy After Dark.
Fanboy After Dark.
Soon
to be on Rumble. Soon to be on Rumble. Hey, there's 10 people in here tonight. Thank you so much for being here. If you haven't already, okay, 9. Sorry. If you can hit that like button, we'd greatly appreciate it so much.
And remember to tell your friends.
Tell a friend.
We can all have a whole Monday night party. It would be amazing. But yo, so the thoughts are that like his career could just be completely not over. It's definitely not over, but it's already damaged, right? So he filmed some spots for the military.
Yeah, pulled. They pulled that shit.
And so who knows what Kevin Feige and them are planning on doing for the future of the MCU. So
there's 2 scenarios I see here, right? Kevin Feige hits the kill button on the movies, or if it turns out these allegations are false, which we are all hoping, right? Because I just want to make sure I'm clear here, Mantis. I'm not taking some altruistic stance. I'm hoping they're false so I can go see Avengers 5. Fuck you if you don't like it. So I can go see Avengers 5.
Fuck that white woman. No, no, but I want to ask a question. I want to ask a kind of serious question.
Oh shit. Go ahead.
How do we feel, or should we even be talking about this? How do we feel about the idea of, let's say, then tape surfaces, right? And he puts his
just say it. Just say it.
He puts his hands around her neck, but he doesn't strangle her.
Oh shit.
Just in kind of a defensive posture.
Okay.
How do we feel about that?
If he's defending himself, if he's keeping her off of him, I'm okay with it.
Get off me, bitch. Get off me, bitch.
Now, if he hits her with a front kick and he's like, get off me, bitch. Get off! That might be an issue. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's defensive. Kicking someone in the head is defensive.
It's defense with offense, right? I had to put her down and made sure she stayed down. Yeah. Here's what I'm hoping. So if he was pushing off of her and he's restraining her and she was coming at him, that's fair game. Ladies, I'm sorry if you don't agree, but it's the truth, man. There's nowhere in the handbook that says I need to let you throttle me. Now, just because I didn't hit you with an uppercut, you know what I'm saying, which you're lucky for not receiving, all things being considered equal, right? You come at me and we're in a relationship, I'm going to restrain you. I'm not going to let you fucking punch me in the face. Now, what's restraint? You know, I'm just holding you, making sure, pushing you away, that type of stuff. It's not a fucking knee to the liver. Like, obviously, I'm not going to throw you in an arm bar or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know, people even feel very uncomfortable about men using a defensive posture with a woman.
Yeah. Well, not Low. Low says if it's a feminist, throw her in the arm bar, put her in the triangle.
Yeah, he's going to punch her in the throat before he arm bars her.
I mean, some people do, but you have the right to protect yourself, right? You know, Starry just reported on a woman who shot her husband in the chest, which may be considered a hate crime if he was a part of the LGBTQ plus community, right? I hope she gets that hate crime charge, her and her mother, right?
And so this is the whole thing with with you know, once again, my utter disgust with identity politics.
Right.
And so once again, we all have different codes and identities, and it changes the way we are, and we're all victims. And it's like the Victoria Alonso thing. She got fired for breach of contract, yet she has the nerve to try to sue Marvel.
Oh, this is who is this? Who the fuck are you talking about?
This was Kevin Feige, second in command, who was in charge of special effects.
Lady. Yeah.
Yeah, so they found her breach of contract. She now she's lawyered up.
Oh boy.
And she's planning on suing them, and she's trying to say that it was an LGBT, because she's a lesbian, an LGBT thing. I'm like, maybe you just deserve to be fired.
Yeah, maybe the company's underperforming. Maybe you were behind some of the decisions that helped it underperform. And this is the interesting thing about it, right? So at the end of the day, you're famous for saying this, bro. You are here to entertain me. You make a product for me to consume. If the product you're making, and it's a very controversial topic that I don't think we're going to get into, but we should a little bit, about the Jim Crow laws. Did you look that up?
Oh yeah, I did look it up.
Okay. But if your product is being rejected, then sue the fans. That's who you need to deal with, right? Because it's not just being rejected by far-right psychopaths. The numbers are not good.
They'll try to swing it like that.
Yeah, no, but it's not
like,
that though.
White supremacists have ruined Disney stock.
But I want to be clear. I know white supremacists exist. I'm not that guy. I'm not so far on the right where I'm just like, there's no such thing as a white supremacist.
Well,
I'll see. If I'm getting lynched, I assume I'm going to see Candace Owens in the lynching party. Like, this is not happening to you. You did this to yourself. Like, I know that white supremacists exist. But you got fired, man, because you helped produce a product that no one else was in tune with anymore. Kevin Feige was not fired, not because he's a man, but because he still has the ability to course correct. But if you don't think for a second that Bob had a conversation with Kevin Feige, like, it can be you. It can be you.
Absolutely. I think them firing his second in command was just a thing to
The
be
warning
like,
shot.
that's a warning shot, bro. That's a warning shot. Next time we won't miss.
You know what that was? That was like that scene in Breaking Bad. Spoiler alert for a show that's been over for damn near a decade. Do you remember when what's the guy's name? The Panamanian drug dealer, the one
Gus.
Yeah, Gus.
Gus
You remember
Fring.
when he killed his own second in command to show them? Like that's what that was, bro. That's what that was.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That was. I love that. I absolutely love
He was
that.
like, anyone can get touched. Anyone can get touched. So let's talk about this Jim Crow thing when you're ready.
Wait, it may be bad, but I'm gonna laugh if he hits her with a shoryuken.
Should I think?
If boys and girls are interchangeable, why should dudes treat women any differently in a confrontation? In a confrontation,
I love fanboy after dark when people start saying real
that
shit.
is a statement. That is a real fucking
That's
statement.
a real
And
fucking
so
statement.
how do we break this down? So if we're gonna break down his comment before we go into the Mississippi thing, I'll simply say it like this. I want it to be clear. I don't believe in all this gender stuff.
Okay.
I don't believe in any of the new gender theories, queer theories, whatever, and stuff like that.
Right.
I'm
right there with you. I want to make sure I'm on the record. I don't want my boy to be out here by himself because there's a consequence for not believing in these things. And I'm with you. Go ahead.
And I just want to let it be known that women and men are different. We are born what we are born. There are people who are in between or not, and those are intersex, and those are very, very small portion of people who are born with both genitals. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like a mutation.
Right.
But I'm saying in general, for the majority of it, there are two genders, and that's what it is. Now, if somebody wants to live life as a different gender, I'm not going to hate them.
Business.
They can do their thing. But like, for instance, when it comes to like law or policy, for instance, like sports, right. I'm not going to pretend that men and women are the same.
Right.
And that a former male doesn't have the advantage over the women when he goes into their sport.
And you will not use pseudoscience or you will not exegete the scriptures. I'm using that as a paraphrase. You will not make up words, redefine them to suit your argument. No, you got to stand on. If you're someone that argues from scientific fact and then you throw science out the window when this conversation comes up, I want you to walk to your window, right? And then test gravity. And then tell me if you believing in being a bird helps you in that fucking situation.
What they should also do is go to their front yard and take the sign that they probably virtue signal, those black signs that they have that say, we believe in science. We believe in, water is, there's love is love and all this shit. Take it and throw it in the trash because you obviously don't believe in it.
No, you don't.
And a response to Lowe's comments, he's like, if they're interchangeable, I don't believe they're interchangeable. I absolutely don't. But I'm sure there are many people in the world who will tell you, Lowe, that you're both the same. That you, like, actually, I think that actually happened in an MMA fight, right?
Yeah, so you're talking about Megan Fox or something. So there was a transgender woman that competed in MMA. So this is the part where I have to be careful. I don't remember if she disclosed that she was a transgender woman, but she beat the brakes off of a biological woman. Now, the obvious argument that people usually bring up is that same transgender athlete also got beat by a biological woman in an MMA event, but she out-grappled her. We're talking about the woman that beat her was an amazing wrestler. So I just want to throw that out there.
Yes. So as we know that, like,
Phelan Fox, thank you, RM.
Okay, Phelan Fox, there we go. And so, yeah, I mean, well, that's what the jits is there for, to equalize these types of things.
Yeah.
Like, it's striking where the body mass and bone density comes in.
Jits too. The problem is they were fighting in the same weight class, and the Ashley Evans Smith. RM, can you check that for me? I think it was Ashley. I think her name was Ashley.
Remember, you strike with your muscles, but you wrestle with your bones.
Okay, here you go with the bullshit. What fucking old Brazilian told you that shit? No, it's true. 100%. Shout out to Brazilian teachers out there. So, but to Lowe's comment, man, I agree with Mantis. I differentiate between men and women biologically for sure in these confrontations. I understand that if I hit Mantis with a cross, it's going to do some damage. There's the damage that if I hit Lizzie Lou with a cross, it's going to be entirely different.
Right. And so, and I'll say this 90, and you know what's crazy? Even the most savage dudes, most of them savage dudes are actually very civilized. Because let me ask you, have you guys ever been in a situation where some ghetto chick is coming up to you and she's like, you better not fuck with me if it was any other day? And the only thing that's stopping you from dropping.
You got to quantify that, because when you say ghetto, people think of one thing. He's talking about some unruly woman. When Mantis says ghetto, he doesn't mean a black or Latino.
Because trust me, there's plenty of white ghetto chicks. Like, trust me, Alabama's filled with them. Trailer parks are filled with them. When they're like, if it was any other day, and you're like, and the only thing that's preventing them from getting laid out is just the man being civilized and not asserting his madness, because we know that the fight is not going to be equal.
100%. 100%.
Lowe says, I would be worried if it was Feige. I bet you Feige shit in his pants.
Yeah, I bet you they fired that bitch right in front of Feige. They were like, hey, come in, get some sandwiches. They looked at her and they slit her throat like, this can be you, Kevin.
Well, yeah, just like in the Breaking Bad episode, right? Like he puts on the meth suit, like the thing, and he walks up to his second.
This is after the guy performed the cook perfectly, and White was like, he's not going to know about the phosphorus with the blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, yeah. And he did it 100%. 100%. Good shit.
Good stuff. But, well, to be fair, men and women should be respected equally. I do agree with that.
That's an entirely different argument. If you're a Christian or you're from the Judeo Christian view, obviously we understand that men and women are seen as equals in their value, right? And anyone that tries to make an argument about it, you can only make that argument if you're reading the Quran or certain other holy books. But in the eyes of Christendom, I challenge you, men and women are seen as co-heirs of God.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're seen as co-heirs as God. They're equal in value, equal in worth, just designed to do different roles. That's the argument. You know, that's the shit right there.
I love that Lizzie Lou said that, because that's the whole thing. Everyone's trying to equalize the playing field, and what equalizes it is we should treat each other equally.
Exactly.
Not pretend that we don't have differences. It's not like, for instance, you know those colorblind dudes who are like, are you black? I didn't notice.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap.
All these white dudes are like, he's like, is my coworker Asian? I had no idea. Let's stop pretending.
I actually saved someone from getting their ass whooped by you at work. They were like, hey, who's the new white guy? And I was like, hey, come here, motherfucker. Like, don't say that shit out loud again. I won't. I'm not going to tell you.
Fuck said that.
I was like, this motherfucker will lean on you and crush your windpipe. Don't fucking get stupid. He's not playing with you. And anyway,
we're on air, so I'm gonna be easy. Yeah,
we're well off the path. Go ahead.
Yeah, Phelan didn't get her orbital bone broken like the chick she did that to. Yeah. Listen to all these hateful monsters calling men and women different. Y'all should be ashamed of your bigotry. I know we're all bigots. We're all horrible bigots, right? Like Asian Jim on The Office. RM, it's been a while since I've rewatched The Office, but I actually do love that sketch. The Asian Jim thing, that was utterly hysterical. And it's almost nonsensical as to why, and yet it's so funny. But I think we need to talk about Mississippi, or should I say Jackson, Mississippi, particularly.
Can you make this? All right. So can you make this make sense to me? Because I didn't research it. Someone brought it up to me at work and they were like, you should talk about this on your podcast. I was like, all right, Mantis called me and I called you back. So what I was told was Jim Crow has been reinstated in this area. Is that true?
Okay. I would say false.
Okay.
I would say false. However, something not cool certainly happened there that they're calling the return of Jim Crow.
All right. What happened?
And so in Jackson, Mississippi, because of the rise in crime, right? Mm-hmm. They said they're like, we don't have enough cops. We don't have enough judges or courts. Everything's booked up. Everything's backed up. And they said, okay, so we'll have more courts and all these things. And so they created this bill that's called like the whatever bill 1020, right? and it
Right.
just got signed into law. And what it does is it takes Jackson, Mississippi, and it takes all the mostly white neighborhoods, and it gives them their own separate court system and their own separate police.
What?
Yes.
What?
So basically, in Jackson, Mississippi, there are different courts and cops who patrol the white areas, and different for the black areas.
Oh boy. So this is okay. This is not exactly Jim Crow, but it's right at the fucking line, bro.
That's what I was saying. Like I was like,
right
it's not good. It's not Jim Crow exactly, but it could definitely lead to Jim Crow.
It's like they're flirting with it. Like, you think we can get away with this? Like,
how doesn't they not?
So this is where I hope that if you're tuning in right now, where you know that Mantis and I are truly moderates, right? We're truly in the middle when it comes to this thing. We're looking at things objectively, right? So here's the unpopular opinion, right? For me as a black man, for me as a man that has a wife and children, and my wife is not white, before you go into that bullshit, if you're catching the replay, make sure you hit the like or dislike button. We appreciate your participation. But crime within my community is not a talking point the same way that you might hear black conservative correspondents talking about it, right? For me, it's something harmful. It hurts to think about black people harming each other. I want to see these things end in my lifetime. Here's the unpopular opinion. And I'm going to ask you, Mantis, was this warranted considering the crime rate? Like, should there be separate systems? Because we got to deal with the obvious shit first, right? Why is there so much crime within the minority community? Is there something that warranted this decision? I'm going to say no, but I want Mantis to expound upon it.
So obviously I don't think it's good, and there's no way that the crime statistics could possibly warrant this need. And
Right.
So I understand increasing the court number, the judge number, the number of courts, the number of dockets going on each day, the number of police. But the idea that they're going back to, as I recalled, as I was learning in school, separate but equal.
Right. Bullshit.
Like, separate but equal. There's two. They actually have different police like uniforms and things, and like so they have the neighborhood on them. So they're basically, the white cops are patrolling just the white neighborhoods,
right?
And the black cops are just in the black neighborhoods, and they don't cross over the line. And I'm like, there is no way they're getting the same justice,
right?
They basically, if you're Jonathan Majors, and you choke your
white woman who shows up to that call,
right? He better hope. I don't know what side he wants to be on, actually.
All parties involved show up, black and white cops, and
they're fighting over who gets to lynch him, right? Rogue Radio says, I covered this on Let's Talk. My friend and I were angered and surprised by this. It's pretty insane.
Bullshit. It's bullshit.
They're bringing in the shitty water fountains right now.
They most certainly are. They're like, hey, we're also rolling out this thing.
They're like, that's not a water fountain. That's a sewage drain.
Bro,
drink up, doggy.
Drink it. Ask me if this surprises me for the South. No, it doesn't. Right. And this is where. No, it does. I've had this argument with some of my white friends, my Anglo-Saxon or other Caucasoid friends, in regards to racism. Does it still exist? I'm like, of course it does. Hatred exists in the heart of men all the time. Do I believe in evil systems? Of course, because men are evil. And when I say man, I mean humankind. And of course, they're evil, and their hearts breeds into the systems that they create. So it's not crazy to me that something like this happened or it's going that way. But it's important that you are an informed person and you research exactly what it is you're about to protest against. Now, the story that was spun to me was that Jim Crow had been completely reinstated.
Basically, in order to attack it, they call it the Jim Crow law. They're like the Jim Crow law or whatever, and that's where it was sold.
Yeah. And like, of course, it invoked a feeling in me because I didn't live under Jim Crow, but I understand how harmful it was for my people when it did exist, my forebears.
Yeah, and it's crazy. And so there's now a new tradition of liberal think tank people who
Right.
believe that there should be a separation of the races, and they think it's for the better. Have you heard about this? And so my
No.
mother, it's actually funny. My mother, a woman who has done, a great deed for the white man, and she's married more than one white man in her life. However, believes that should happen.
Right.
She should say there should be a state just for blacks, and if blacks want to go there, they can go there to be away.
Well, I mean, so obviously, Malcolm X, who is a personal hero of mine, one, never trusted liberals, right?
Right.
Actually
I love his
spoke
speech about the fox and the wolves and stuff. That was
exactly spoke very harshly of liberals and why black people should be aware of the liberal agenda, but also believed in segregation. I am not a person that believes in segregation, but I understand the harmful effects that integration has had on the black community. I was listening to a report the other day that took me down a historical path. Did you know that in the MLB that the African American or black, whatever you want to say, participation is down below 9%? Now think about when you and I were growing up. We grew up when there were a lot of African American or other black people who were in the MLB, right? And now it's down below 9%, according to this one source. I don't know if that's true or not, but I understand that before integration, we had the black leagues, which black vendors relied on for business. And once integration happened, the Negro leagues completely disappeared. So there was a harmful effect. There used to be black hospitals in Harlem, right?
Yeah, but also I'm assuming I don't actually have historicals on this, but I'm assuming the black hospitals were less funded or had less.
This is a point of debate because people who historically were there have reported to me, and I'm talking about 2 or 3 people, that the black hospitals, yes, they were underfunded, but the mortality rate was different. Like the care for black people was different. So there was a cost to integration. There was.
But what does this all say about humanity? Are we unable to get over racial uptightness?
Yes, because we keep looking for different solutions than the one that God presented to deal with this thing. We keep looking to reconcile with each other with every means. Actually, this is not that podcast. Never mind. Yes.
I liked where you were going with that, though. I was like, testify, brother, testify. You're all sinners. You're all
come through. They grab me and they're like, get in this fucking door right now. At any rate, there's Jim Crow bad, right? Anything resembling Jim Crow bad. And if you're one of those fucking conservatives that can't admit that Jim Crow was bad and you try to use the but argument, you're an idiot. And I welcome you to call up. We'll drop the fucking StreamYard link. I welcome you to call up one day, and I hope your wife and children are there when I fillet you in this argument. There is no justifiable excuse.
It's funny. I was watching Matt Walsh today, and I can't. I normally like. I think he's like a dad. Like he's like I don't take him seriously as a YouTuber, but like he does have some good points. He has some good things, and he's talking, and he's talking about colonialism, and he makes a statement, that nothing bad ever happened under colonialism.
It's a horrible argument. It's a horrible argument.
I'm like, I understand that you could argue that colonialism isn't all bad, which I don't think it's all bad. However, obviously, a lot of horrible, fucked up shit happened in the world because of colonialism. And so is he totally just...
This is my problem with the right, man. These are people who are always say, don't reinvent words, don't redefine words. Motherfucker, don't redefine history. This is the base for your argument. So you're trying to tell me, and this, you got to listen carefully, Mantis. I'm going to cook right now. You got to listen to when motherfuckers are trying to put a flim-flam on you, because I've had Christians try to do this to me. They're like, well, under God's great providence, what happened in what happened led black people to a better place. I'm like, what? It led these people to a better place, not just black people. I'm like, wait. Well, let me just see. I believe in providence. I believe in those things. But nowhere in the Bible does it ever discount the horrible things that happened to the Yiddens, aka the Jews. Can you point to one example in the Old Testament when they were when they were captured by the Egyptians, where it didn't outline how horrible that was? Miss me with that bullshit. That's a lazy argument, and fuck you, Matt Walsh. Fuck you and that stupid fucking beard, man. Fuck you, bro.
You see the set? His set is like a fake. It's a studio clearly, but it looks like a dude's like living room, but it's clearly fake, and it's just like he's trying to touch to all the dads or whatever.
Bro, Matt Walsh, and this is why when he made that documentary, I tried to warn a few Christian friends of mine, and they were like, "This is amazing." I'm like, "Yeah, it's amazing until he establishes himself as a Catholic and not a Protestant." When he makes the documentary about Protestants, you're not gonna like it.
Right.
You're not gonna like it.
Yeah. Princess Max says, "Let him cook." RM says, I mean, the black only areas that prospered under Jim Crow tended to end up like Black Wall Street, in Oklahoma. So
yeah, but RM, that proves my point, right? That proves my point. And if you ever want to hear a great coverage of Black Wall Street and the other Black Holocaust that happened, I use the word, in America, go check out RM, aka Gray Winthrop's coverage over it on Spoon, because RM really touched on all of them. I think all three of them.
Oh yeah, it was great. It was amazing. It was amazing. I would say this.
Go for it, brother.
Oh no, do your thing.
No, this is my point in regards to the two forms of justice, right? What was the last mayor's name in New York City? What was that poor son of a bitch's name that no one?
De Blasio?
Oh, that poor son of a bitch. His entire campaign was built on the tale of two cities, right? And here we are, right? Conservatives not seeing what they're doing, or maybe being completely understanding of what they're doing. You're making the two cities right in front of us. So your response to crime was, we're going to have two judicial systems, two police forces. Right? Do you understand what I'm saying?
So, it's insane.
It's fucking idiotic. Republicans are stupid. They are. Not all Republicans. I'm saying the people in power, they're idiots.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree.
You did this, Mantis. You said you wanted to do an After Dark episode. I'm here for it.
I'm loving it. Because we're telling it how it is.
Idiots. They're fucking idiots.
Because it is true. This show, me and you both generally shit on liberals, right? We're like, stupid liberals, these fucking idiots, mama. All these times, it is about time that we do talk shit about the conservatives, and conservatives fuck shit up literally all the time. And you're all right. They pretend that colonialism isn't bad, slavery wasn't that bad, police brutality isn't that bad. I'm like, it's one thing to be pro cop, but you can't just pretend that there isn't police brutality. That's fucking insane.
There's a reason that we're in this hyper liberal state that we're in. The pendulum swung so far left because the shit was so fucking far right for so long.
But it does go both ways. I'll give you an example. This was back in the Spoon days. I was listening to this guy, and he was doing news reports. I forget what his show was called, and I forget his name. And he's super, super, super liberal guy.
Oh, I know who. I don't remember his name, but that show fucking sucked.
It totally sucked. And he said you should. And at the time, there was a whole thing where a cop responded to an assault, and it was two black girls fighting, and one of them had a knife. Oh, and in the video, she literally raises the knife up, and the cop comes and shoots her in the back.
Wait. Here's the most important thing. So if you're going to argue a point, I hope Lizzie's still here, because Lizzie's going to understand this. I'm going to have you argue that point from your worldview. That's right, Mantis. That Steve is back. You got to be consistent in your fucking worldview. So if your worldview is black women need to be protected, the cop was protecting a black woman that was about to be brutally stabbed by another.
The dude, the announcer of the show was said, if you watch it, he just came out of nowhere and assassinated this girl. And I'm like, a cop can't even shoot someone who's fucking got a blade up and about to kill a girl.
Bro, if that's my daughter, I'm buying that cop all the donuts he wants.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. And so they look at things that are so blatantly obvious. And this is the problem. they look at it so obviously, and they see it in a corrupt fashion, because I actually do believe that if you are a member of a political party or any group or any identity, it starts the corruption. You start becoming a corrupt person for that cause.
Right.
You're a Democrat, you always look the other way when Democrats do fucked up shit.
You only care about that shit.
Yeah, Republicans, they're like, what? They're like, what police brutality? Police are fine. I see no problem. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. You're supposed to be a Christian, bro. You're supposed to be a Christian. You're letting cops fucking murder people. What the fuck? And so they don't see the truth literally right in front of them. It's bizarre. It is bizarre. It's bizarre.
Extremely bizarre. Extremely bizarre.
And no offense to our listeners or people tuned in. I'm just glad I'm not a member of either of these political parties, because they're just fucking heavy.
I've had so many arguments with Christians in regards to the idolatry when it comes to them being politically conservative, right? I'm like, it's one thing to hold conservative values because you believe what the Bible teaches. It's another thing, on the other hand, to be conservative and compare the ideology that comes with being a political conservative to being a Christian. And allow me to give the liberals an arguing point. Did you know, Mantis, that most conservatives, when it comes to the conversation of abortion, are more in line with the liberals than they are with Christians? But yet every year, like black people, Christians vote for Republicans that do not hold the same views in regards to this topic. Why did I compare them to black people? Because Matt Walsh, Candace Owens, all those motherfuckers from Kroger, whatever that stupid fucking channel is, they will always say black people are being used by liberals. And I would pose that same argument to Christians. You are being used by Republicans. They do not believe the shit you believe.
Right.
They don't, you fucking idiots.
And I would say that if Marjorie Taylor Greene is an anti-Semite, and so from what I hear, the word she said makes it sound like she's an anti-Semite.
Jewish lasers.
Yeah, Jewish space lasers, right? And she also wants a national divorce where red states divorce themselves from blue states, which means she's advocating a civil war. Right. That is not Christian, in my opinion.
At all. And also,
she markets herself as a Christian.
She's fucking a part of the cult of CrossFit, and she's a psychopath.
CrossFitters are the worst. They're worse than any political party. RM says, I mean, the black. Oh no. Matt Walsh defended the Duggar pedo and said that he would not turn his son in if he had molested his daughters.
Really? I didn't know about this.
I know about this, and I'm not gonna. Okay. No, we're not gonna talk about this. It's a weird area in terms of to analyze what he was talking about. But I felt Matt Walsh in terms of, I'm going to defend him right now. I took it to mean that he would not be in a hurry to turn any of his children in for something that they did, and he tried to like reconcile them and get them help and kind of shit.
No, okay, I call cap on that, right? Matt Walsh, you're not standing consistent with your views, right? You want to protect children from the liberal agenda in regards to body dysphoria, as you call it. But if your child is the predator in the situation, based on the things you've said, you should be the one calling the cops.
Yeah, but here's my whole take on it. I do one. This is getting kind of dark, but also I can't even imagine what would happen if one of my children hurt another one of my children like that. I don't have children, for the record. It's just some dark shit, right? So
it's some dark shit, but stop the cap, aka shout out to Matt right now. Stop the cap. I just want you to be consistent in your views. You Mantis, do you know why I don't get up here and call myself a Christian YouTuber? Because I in this episode alone, I've said fuck at least 376 times. Right? I can't consider myself a Christian YouTuber. Matt Walsh presents himself as a moral figure. You don't get to decide when you're a moral figure or not. Don't bring humanity into it. Like you don't get to decide that, right? You don't. It's like, well, the conundrum of being a parent, and then no, motherfucker, you just literally took a 1 hour and 40-minute stance against not protecting children.
Here's what I'm saying. Here's what I ultimately what I am saying. I would not be quick to turn in any of my family members It depends on the situation. It depends on everything. I don't know. I don't have kids. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But like because you know what it is? I find that the justice system, cops and the system always handle shit wrong anyway.
Well, wait. But you've never stood up on a platform claiming the things that Matt has claimed, have you?
Right. But I'm just saying that, like, in terms of defense of that thought, I'm like, God forbid I was to find like my older son. I mean, I don't even want to think about it, man.
But again, you've never stood on a moral principle like that publicly, have you?
No.
This is a man that stood
I have
on...
no morals. Have you met me?
Anyway, let's just get to just Pearly things.
Yeah, so wait, hold on. First, let's finish off the comments. I don't blame the cop, but that girl thought that the girl she was fighting was going to kill her, and the girl and her mother literally told her that she was going to die. It was very sad. Yeah, it absolutely was a sad story. But here's all I'm saying is, in terms of fair shootings, that is one of the most fair shootings I've ever seen or heard. It was captioned on. It was the most perfect fair shooting ever. The cop arrives to watch one black girl pinned to the wall, pinned to a car, and the other one about to stab her. He was absolutely 1,000% right to pull the trigger.
100%. And here's the thing. Here's what people are missing, right? I did not want that young girl to die. But if it was my daughter and the cop saved my daughter's life, race is the last thing that parent or I would be thinking about.
Yeah, I want cops to show up and when they see people armed trying to kill somebody, they take them out. That's the
Unless they're bitch ass motherfuckers that won't run in the building where babies are being slaughtered, right? Then those motherfuckers need to be tried at the highest level. Mantis, I love when we do these after dark episodes. I love this shit.
He's high on his self-righteousness. Keep this shit going. It's gold.
Yeah, we're gonna get some merch that says "Stop the Cap." Just
stop the cap. Rogue Radio says, "Yo, Christians curse more than anyone." It's cool, Steve.
Thank you, Rogue.
Because it comes from a place of passion. We were about to get into our next topic, which was the Pearly Pearl Davis.
Just Pearly things. Let me ask you a question, man, real quick, before we get into that, right?
You're asking me, you want to know if I'd get with her? I would.
Yeah, I know you would. That part was clear to me. She wears a pearl necklace around her neck. I feel like this is a distraction. If you know what I'm talking about, it's like the worst branding ever. Worst branding ever.
I am not associated with a man other than the fact that we do a podcast every week and we're best friends since we were kids.
I'm just saying, no one else noticed that. Like, she doesn't have a PR team? Like, I don't know if this is the best name, but continue.
Actually, you know what's funny when you're talking about PR teams or whatever? She needs fucking security. I want to like donate to get her security because I've seen a couple of clips where they've had to throw people out of her thing, and she actually has her guests physically come. Right. Like everyone else on the internets, the interwebs, they at least are doing what we're doing. They're all in StreamYard. It's simple, right? But she actually allows these loose fuckers into her studio,
right?
And then they start wiling out. And I was like, we need to get this girl some security, man.
For sure. Yeah. I can't remember. Just Pearly, was she a volleyball player or basketball? I think volleyball.
Volleyball. All right.
So just Pearly things is someone that who's been on my radar for quite some time. I don't know if Berlin's in here. I think he's lurking somewhere. Shout out to Berlin.
Shout out.
Just Pearly things. The first time I saw her was actually on a Kevin Samuels episode, and she called up, and she wasn't in a debate with Kevin Samuels. She called up asking questions. The criticism about Just Pearly things from many different Black YouTubers and other content creators was that they felt like she was a culture vulture. Go look up the term. I don't have the time to explain it to you. I feel like she's not the best person to bring a Nick Fuentes on. When I found out she was going to have Nick Fuentes on, I felt the same way as when I found out he was going to be on No Jumper. I'm like, well, intellectually, there's no one really there to combat Nick Fuentes.
Was he already on No Jumper?
Yeah, he was on No Jumper, bro.
Oh, we need to make fun of that in some episode.
Yeah, that's next week's episode. So when I found out he was going to be on Just Pearly's show, I was like, This is not good because she's a lot of things, but she's not great in regards to her argumentation against opposing views. And she pressed him for a second. She called him a racist. She's like, "You have no." She said, "You have some racist views, right?" And he was like, "No, I'm not a racist." But then he kind of copped to it. This was a bad fumble by just Pearly. And I was talking to Berlin about this. The problem is correlation. When you compare two different viewpoints, by default, you're equating them. If you use the argument like, hey, this is this, and I kind of think this person did this, or let me reference this situation, by default, you've said that they are the same. So you are making a statement. And that's the problem with a lot of people when it comes to their argumentation. They don't understand when they're doing that. Mantis is looking over at our producer who's telling him to wrap the show. He's like, you motherfuckers are well into the dangerous area. What are your thoughts? I gotta use the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Well, are we getting a clip? Oh, and he's gone. And he is gone, folks. Prince Max says exactly. Matt first says, you don't think Pearl can take a bitch? I think she can take many bitches. She looks like a tough chick, and she's literally a professional athlete. I don't think anyone should have to fight someone on their podcast. I think people should be chill and relax on their podcast. And I just watched a clip from the other day, and like they had to kick out 2 guests because they were just all whiling. They're all like British, well, these UK people. Matt says, oh no, she can't have that degenerate on. He's a fucking psycho. He ruined Kanye just so you could have brunch with Trump. I absolutely agree. By the way, Princess Bex said exactly to you, brother.
Oh, thank you, Bex.
Do we have a clip? Of
We do have a clip. I'm sorry. I'll get it for you right now.
It's all right. I love Pearly. I think there are a lot of people, particularly liberal women, who hate her. But I think she keeps it so real. I think people think that she's fronting just for clicks. I don't think so. I think this is honestly her.
Right. I would agree with that. I'm still looking. Continue.
But anyway, I would totally get with her. Yeah, no, she's.
I love that we boiled the argument down to that. It's like, at the end of the day, oh, real quick, man, we didn't talk about it, but I love that you did a video about it, man. Shout out to this last episode of The Mandalorian and the Great Redemption is what I'm calling it.
Yeah. Oh man,
that's what I'm calling it. It truly is Star Wars dealing with something that happened to one of their actors, which wasn't their fault. I'm talking about the actor who voiced Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, and
Obviously.
So this is so great. And I love it. And honestly, I hope there's more flashbacks so we can see the ongoing story of him and he can have like his own story. And so I think he's the Black Jedi we've always deserved.
Oh, god damn, you're a smart motherfucker for a light-skinned dude. I agree with that.
Because you know what it is, we love Mace Windu, but we never saw anything about him. He had no character development. He's just there to be badass, right? He's just Sam Jackson with a purple lightsaber. Now we can actually have one that's going to bring us epic tales. It's going to be great. I love it. I love what's going on.
I thought it was great. These last Mandalorian really is. It's not only carrying Star Wars on its back, just like Fallen Order is.
Yeah,
but it's just amazing. All right, I'm sending you a video. It's a commentary about the Just Pearly thing, so I sent it to you in Discord.
You guys, that Mando episode was not that good. What?
Who said that?
Matt Cat giving us guff.
The Jar Jar Jedi is gonna die, Matt. That's it. The beef is already started, Matt.
Oh my god, I can't believe you. You kidding me? The Jar Jar Jedi is gonna take the ball all the way, man.
Do me a favor, folks. If you're tuning in right now, even if you're sleeping or you're just listening to the sound of our voice, if you're still in the live chat, drop a word in there. Could be any word. Troll if you want to, but it brings the number back up. YouTube is on the same thing as Twitch, where if you're not interacting, they don't consider you watching. So if you could do that for me, I appreciate you.
Yeah, please hit us up. Let's see what's going on. What's going on with Pearly?
What's good, everybody?
This is O'Shea Duke Jackson.
O'Shea Duke Jackson. Back back at it again with another episode.
Wait, whose YouTube channel did I just put on?
No, okay, so this is O'Shea Duke Jackson. He is one of the men that created the Black Manosphere
was very
space.
instrumental.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, he's with the shits.
That's it. That was his intro. What we just watched.
Yeah, I love it. He's like, it's
It's shit. I was like, what am I watching? What is
in the
going on?
development of what is known as the Black Manosphere?
Yeah, see.
I was the founder of the defunct NegroManosphere.com.
Thank you, folks.
I was one of the first people to pay writers. I brought in the
Necromancer.
Kevin Samuels of the world. And the other guys did too. Obsidian and Angry Man had their part to play. But in organizing a lot of the things, that was me. But one of the things is when you're a part of a community, sometimes the vision goes into different ways. And me being more, I would say, Pan-African feel or more pro-Black than some of the other brothers I would feel. There was a lot more, let's say, zeal to be more conservative. And I'm talking about conservative as, you know, the conservatism that is more or less with the whites. Okay, I would say it like that. So whenever white people do something, a lot of the brothers didn't want to call it out or make excuses for it. And whenever something happened with Black folks, we would be all over it. Pookies and Ray Rays, the Black ministers all over it. When you're talking about single motherhood in the Black community, brothers is all over it. Whenever somebody white does something, the brothers are quickly defended it. And I noticed that community was coming together really fairly quickly. And so when I noticed that, me being a part of the Black Manosphere, when Just Pearly things was coming up, I didn't want to divide the brothers.
Oh, look at our early videos.
Because I love the Black Manosphere, right? So I didn't want to come out and take what I would see immediate shots at the young lady. I didn't really know her content. She reached out to me in 2021 to give me an interview. I
wouldn't just get with her.
You would marry her. I know that.
I'd marry her and have her babies.
You would have the babies?
Well, I mean, we'd have babies, but I'd be a stay-at-home dad if that's what you wanted. Anyway.
Beck says who the Black Manosphere chooses to elevate is very interesting to me. Yeah, and you know what? There's someone that called this about the Black Manosphere. He was not a member, but he said that he felt like after Kevin Samuels that the Black Manosphere would start elevating white voices in this space. What's up, Dragon Lady? How the hell are you? But God,
Dragon Lady, welcome in. Yo, here's the thing. This is more identity politics.
I don't really collaborate with the.
We should just uplift people,
non-Black YouTubers. It's a policy of mine,
and not have a policy where like we're only going to let Black
I'm here
people on.
I want to be in Black YouTube. I strictly want to deal with the Black content creators in the Black community. So when Just Pearly things started rising, and then you had Black women topics on our platform, some of the brothers from the pro-Black community came towards me about that. I stayed really out of that because of my relationship with the Black Manosphere community, right? But I'm here to say enough is enough. I'm fully, exactly. I would say more or less in the Pan-African community and pro-Black community of YouTube than even the Black Manosphere, although I still have roots there. And one of the reasons is because too many Black men in content creators, I won't call them names. You guys, when white people are really saying stuff against the Black community, you brothers will do anything to defend that. You will be all over Black women, all over
challenge.
And when it's blatant, then you guys make excuses, man, like stupid excuses. Some of you newer content creators in the Black Manosphere, you know what I mean? Like I said, like I'm not in America, so I just kind of gave up my position or whatever else. But the way that you Negroes even come to your conclusions, there's a lot to be desired with some of y'all IQ levels. That's all I'm gonna say, right? There are a lot of guys right now in the Black Manosphere talking a lot of conservative talking points right now. The number one, my honest opinion, don't make sense.
Redundant at this point.
Jason Black, who's taken shots at the Black Manosphere before. I understand it, and I get the frustration. I get the frustration, right?
Melanie
I haven't necessarily listened to what he had to say all with it,
King,
but of course,
I love Melanie King.
I get why brothers got smoked for Jason Black, and by all means, deal with that. I get it. But now, just Pearly things. I want you to hear what she said about slavery and black people, and I'm going to play that, and I'm going to come back.
Here we go.
Argument was the Holocaust was not special, and all countries have
The
done that.
correlation.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so you're saying, why is the Holocaust special?
Yeah, basically.
Oh. Okay, what do you mean, basically?
Well, yeah, I mean, because of course, we're getting into the details of it, but yeah, that's the gist.
Yeah, I mean, but you kind of
All
deny
right,
it.
pause real quick. Nick Fuentes.
I denied some of the parts of
You
it.
denied parts
He
of it.
denies, as he's stating, or has denied entirely, but he's one of these people that thinks the Holocaust was fabricated and it's if not its entirety, that it was overplayed or exaggerated. He's one of those people. Go ahead.
Since he was there and he knows.
Yeah, he has such a punchable face.
He really does. I cannot believe Kanye West even gave him 2 seconds. Thank God Kanye was having a nervous breakdown.
Bro, not only would I refute his arguments, but then after refuting his arguments in a civil way, I would fuck him up. Like, at the end of the podcast, when they reach for hands and they're like, this is great. I'd be like, yeah, turn the cameras off. I start playing Dizzy Gillespie drums on his fucking face.
Yo, there were several YouTubers that I just want to do what you just said. For no reason other than just the way they look. or sometimes the way they sound, but mostly the way they look. I'm just
the way they breathe, the way
I'm
they
like
exist.
Campia.
Oh fuck no, John! I love John Campia. I don't understand your hatred for John.
I'm joking, of
To you.
course.
You think they were embellished upon
I think they're embellished. Yeah.
the same way. This sounds. Oh gosh.
Here we go.
Oh boy.
They're gonna
You're
be
gonna
in
get
trouble.
yourself
This sounds similar to the slavery stuff too, because that's literally the founder of, or the guy who made Roots said, I wanted a myth for my people to live by. So they often, but that's what they do, is they embellish. And I'm not trying to say it wasn't horrible. It was.
Right.
But they want to make it like more horrible so that they can control people.
So let me just see this, okay?
Pause. That's
This lady just said it
right
about us.
there. That's appropriate.
Slavery was not.
Right there, bro. Not only did she make a direct correlation between the two, she substantiated his claim. She's like, "Oh yeah, this kind of reminds me of the slavery thing." I'm sorry. There, you don't have a leg to stand on in an argument where you're like, well, she misspoke. No, she clearly stated what she was talking about. This is a long-standing movement in North America that slavery might not have been as bad as had been reported. Like, in spite of all the physical evidence we have of it, physical evidence being pictures. Well, that's not really physical, but we have photographic evidence.
The only reason why I'm giving her a pass on this particular part is she brought up Roots, which is a particularly ugly situation, right?
Yeah, Roots is clearly a work of fiction, right? Like it's a
right, but they try to pass it off as real at first, right?
No, they do try to pass it off as real, right? And
I think when I was a kid, it hadn't been revealed yet, and I thought it was real.
Oh, wait, real quick. I just want to let you know, I've never watched that movie, by the way.
Your school didn't make you watch it when you were a kid?
Fuck no, bro. I went to a predominantly Jewish school. Like, hell no, they didn't make me watch
I did not know that about you. This
bro. I went to
IS-40.
I went to IS-44. Right next to fucking Natural Museum. Like, yeah, I didn't. Yeah, my stepdad tried to make me watch that shit. My mom was like, "No, you're not going to traumatize my child with this."
It's mad traumatizing.
It's extremely traumatizing.
They cut this motherfucker's foot off, and I was like, I remember I used to have trouble going to sleep because it was like, he didn't have a foot, man.
But here's the thing, right? Even though Roots is a work of fiction, the accounts, here's the point. The accounts were based off of real events.
Yeah, he's put it into one nude.
This was a common practice to cut the foot off of a slave who evaded that you captured. At any rate, Just Pearly suffers for something I call the poor research, poor argumentation point. You made a correlation. Now you have to stand on that correlation. I was debating this with someone else. They're like, no, but she didn't really say. I'm like, motherfucker, she literally said it. Deal with what she said, and then we'll get to her apology.
I need to watch the full episode to know what's going on.
No,
Of what-
no, that's the context, bro. That's it. Don't give her a pass because you want to bone her.
It's not a pass. It's not a pass. I feel that
I want to have sex with her. I want her to have my ginger babies. She said it. Deal with it. Deal with that shit.
our children would be beautiful, but and you know, beautiful mulatto babies. But what I'm saying is,
people.
it's just a quick clip. I need to watch more to like truly.
Okay,
make sure
so play the rest. Play, bro. Literally, she said it. She provided the context for the conversation. Nick Fuentes denies certain points of the Holocaust. She then said, that's like the slavery thing, right? And that's not the only thing she's in hot water for.
But she did bring up Roots.
She brought up Roots and said that the author of Roots wanted to make a myth for his people to believe in, but the correlation was already drawn. She's saying that she believes, and she goes on to explain it in her apology video, which I accept her apology. I accept it. I understand she's not that bright. But once you draw a correlation between two things, you got to stand on what you said. And she did that. So I gave her respect in her apology video because she was like, you know what? I misspoke. That's not what I meant.
RM says, I'm just glad Jonah Hill cured anti-Semitism.
He's another punchable figure, man.
Right.
Jonah Hill's one of those guys from Hollywood that pretends like he's tough. And I'm hoping I'm the guy that's standing outside the bathroom, not Don Lemon. Like, nah, bitch, it's my turn to use the urinal. Like, I'm gonna smack the shit out of Jonah Hill. I'm gonna smack the shit out of
right. RM says, does this girl sit in a hot tub in a bikini usually?
No, you're thinking of Amaranth. You're thinking of Amaranth.
Welcome in Seeking Freedom. Alex Haley is on the other side. Like, how did I get into this?
Seeking Freedom says, who gives a F about Roots? What she said was insane.
Roots downplayed slavery like crazy. He's saying it instead of upscaled it, they downscaled it.
Okay. Your boy Weird ASF. Well, here's the thing, right? I'm always seeking to have new people come to our show. But if you come up in here disrespecting a motherfucker who's like, not like is my brother, you can get your bitch ass out of here too.
Misspoke, I guess. Am I the only one that thinks Jonah Hill is ugly or thin?
He looks like he's dying.
Yeah, no, he does. He really, yeah, no, you are right. It does not look
not that big of a deal. Like, and she's singing it in front of blacks
disrespect Mantis
that work
in the stream. Fuck you.
Keep in mind, here's a young lady that was actively trying to reach out into Black YouTube. She was messaging me. I can show you the screenshots.
Don't show screens.
She never tried to go to her community to get on. She was
that's low, man. Here's what I'm saying. People who show screenshots, man, it's not cool.
Wait. Sometimes you got to send screenshots because motherfuckers are trying to lay a fake rap on you.
Right. If they're trying to do that, then that's fine. However, in terms of this, just for street cred to be like, yo, Pearly things want to do a show with me. Look at this. That's pathetic.
No, that's weird. That's weird as fuck. Is Fuentes white? Fuentes is Italian or Spaniard.
Yeah, I think he's. And so my sister put me onto this. She pointed out that she said that like a lot of, and sorry guys if I offend anybody or whatever, but there's like a movement of Hispanics who want to be white. And so they join white supremacy groups and shit.
Yeah.
Have you heard of this?
Yeah. Yes.
He's like, I had a fight with one on the way to the studio today.
Yes, I have heard of it.
Okay. Yeah, so he's one of them. Apparently, he's one of them. He's trying to get points with the whites by being ultra
hip hop. And you guys get it confused because she has a black boyfriend, she's not racist.
I'll send.
How do you say that?
I'll send you her apology video if you want to get into that. Do you want to get into that?
Let's hear the apology. Yeah, I do.
All right, give me a sec. I'll find that shit.
We've got to find a way to prove that Pearly is innocent.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Bex says he's white.
Bex said he white, he Ben Affleck.
Yeah, basically, like, and this is what I'm talking about, subjective whiteness, right?
Okay, what do you mean?
So basically, if you're not minority enough, they lump you in with the whites. If you're not Spanish enough, they throw you into the whites, whether you are or not. Right? Like, if you're not black enough, and that's one of my great fears, they're like, he's basically a white dude. You know? Unlike Sneeko, I'm still watching Pearl's videos. I'm gonna have to watch that video though. I am interested in like what happened with this interview. Because you know what I'm more concerned about? You know what I'm actually more concerned about? It almost like she was placating this motherfucker.
See, and that's the problem right there. And that goes to a point I was discussing with Berlin and Bex. I'm so tired of people bringing Nick Fuentes on and using the argument, I didn't know, I should have had. No, motherfucker, you're responsible to know who's coming up on your show. You need to be ready to refute them if you don't believe the things that they say. Bottom line.
Right, and she was very weak on her. You're a Holocaust denier. I would have straight up just been like, instead of being like, she said, you kind of talk like it's not real. I would have been like, but aren't you a Holocaust denier? You're a well-known Holocaust denier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would have been on that, and she was being very submissive and very passive.
Bro, I would press Nick Fuentes on everything he believes. 100%. I would press him on his belief structure in regards to intelligence. I was talking to Berlin about this today, and intelligence in regards to racism and races and genetics. I'm like, if people would just stand 10 toes down, not become violent, and be like, Nick, not only are you stupid, but the things you believe are stupid, and allow me to show you. That's why I don't believe in canceling people. Bad ideas need to be refuted publicly. Period.
Right. You need to let them talk so that we can. Yeah. I would destroy him. My man, on Friday, there ain't even gonna be a fight.
Wait, what happened? Bex, what room were we talking about this shit in with Berlin? God damn.
Unlike Sneeko. Yeah. F that.
Oh, it was this one. It was this room. Okay. I sent you the link. By the way, with her apology video.
Let's watch her apologize, shall we, guys? Oh.
And remember, before my conservatives come for me, if you watch Dope Dynamics, I'm the first person to call black people out on bad behavior. I am.
No, he's not. He gives blacks total passes, and everyone else gets.
I just said I like Wakanda Forever. You fucking mother piece of shit. I like that movie.
You only Wakanda Forever to appease other blacks, and you're like, you don't keep it real.
I defended Wakanda Forever, and Mantis called me a black shill, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm just saying you need to call out a bad movie when it comes, right?
Yes.
Let's hear what you.
Publicly. If you feel like that, have the nerve to shut up. But she's not going to shut up.
Click the video I just sent you.
This was the video.
No, I sent you another link. Did I not send you the other link? Yeah, I did. It's
I see. Yeah, I see what's going on. Bastards. There we go.
It's just two old men trying to run the internet right now.
We are running it.
Welcome to the Judge Things YouTube channel, and welcome to Morning Coffee Thoughts, where I give my thoughts over morning coffee. Today I have a chai tea. I quit coffee.
Apologize for being a bigot.
About what I'm drinking. Okay. Today, I'm going to be addressing the Nick Fuentes situation. Yeah, I know why you guys are here. Okay. So I want to first say I take full accountability for everything that happened. Everything that happens in life, as I say to the girls on my show, is my own fault. The fact that people are making these videos is my own fault. And the situation that I'm in is my own fault. Now I'm going to give you guys an explanation and give you guys context for some of the conversations that were had. Just know it's not an excuse.
Context.
full accountability for everything that happened. Okay. So, but I'm going
Voodoo
to
Ranger.
that people have brought my way.
We want a
First
Voodoo
thing,
Ranger
why did you have
sponsor.
Nick on?
Yeah, let's do that.
So, the reasoning behind having Nick Fuentes on was because I heard that he was on the no-fly list and he lost his bank account. Now, from your point of view, you would think, why would you invite someone on that's on the no-fly list?
No, you
right?
want someone
would
like
be a
that.
bad.
He's right.
Well, he's not anymore. That's how he
100%.
flew, but
You want
he
an
was.
interesting motherfucker like that.
So I was more just curious why this man was banned on everything. Now, I've seen a lot of videos that say I play dumb or I'm playing dumb. And I'll tell you what I knew and what I didn't know. So I did know that he was a known racist. I did know he was a known sexist. I did know that basically every bad name in the book from the right and the left, everyone hated him. So the reason I had him on was because, guys, people say that stuff about me. They say I'm sexist. They say I'm a misogynist. And, you know, I really just like to give people the benefit of the doubt when I interview them. I don't go into interviews trying to interrogate someone. I just more try to listen and see where they're coming from.
Checks out for me.
In hindsight, that wasn't smart. And in hindsight, I should have had someone, you know,
Absolutely.
maybe Sarah Garvey, maybe another content creator that could have pushed back more and really was more educated on the topics that he was talking about than I was, because I certainly was not an expert.
Although, despite my crush on her, I'm
Right.
going to say this. If you're having someone on your show, especially someone high profile, you have to do your research.
100%. You don't get the excuse.
And one of my favorite things, I think everyone thinks that Joe Rogan is just some idiot who blah, blah, blah. I remember there was one time he was doing like a quick interview and he was calling in on the interview, and he was outside and he was like, I'm sorry, I got to go. I got to read this book. And they said, what's this book? And he's like, oh, I'm having this author of this book on my podcast at the end of the week, and I need to have it read by the time they come in. And I'm
exactly.
like, hey, that's how you be a fucking host.
And so that's why Gupta had such a hard time on Joe Rogan's fucking show.
Because he didn't know who was going to interview him. He didn't realize the man would be educated and would know what's going on. He would see through shit. So it is her responsibility to research what your guest is going to do.
100%. You need to know what they're talking about.
And so that is a party foul on her part.
Any of the stuff that he was talking about. I did remove the interview. I, again, did not think through a lot of the repercussions of posting that, so I just removed it. If you do want to see the full interview, Obsidian did react to it. That's on his channel. The intention was not, I guess, to hide it. It was just, you know, this might not have been the best move. I'm just going to remove it now. So again, racism has no place in society, and I do take accountability for bringing him on. Hindsight's always 2020. I wrote down some of the complaints that people had. So if I look this way, it's just because I made bullet points of everyone's concerns and I'm just addressing them. Okay. My Africans, that part. So in the heat of the conversation, I made some remarks to my producer, Blessing. Now, Blessing is a godsend. Okay, Blessing has made the production quality literally phenomenal. He's so talented. And during this conversation, we were talking about immigration, and I said,
"Oh yeah,
I'm trying to get my Africans to America." Now,
oh yeah,
I watched it back, guys. It was
Wait,
so
hold
cringy.
on. So people don't realize she has 2 people from Africa working as production on her thing.
Right. And
her producers are both 2 Africans, and that must be what she meant.
Yeah. She's got Africans that she's trying to get to America. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Right.
Embarrassing.
It's not weird.
I met my African
weird,
employees. I just said Africans. The reason is because, like, why wouldn't you just say my employees or whatever to America? The African passport system is just more difficult than the UK one. I didn't know, like, Blessing had to go to the embassy or something to apply to go to America with me next month. We're going to go do some work there.
No, I didn't.
And yeah, and so I've just found that the immigration process is a bit more difficult. So that's why I referred to them, because my African employees I needed more help with, and I was saying in the interview that I wanted more open border policies because I wanted them to come. Again,
But now, conspiracy theory: did she hire African immigrants that are in the UK because they're cheaper?
That's a good conspiracy. Also, I want you to know, for all you swirlers out there, just Pearly's boyfriend is black, and I believe
I've seen that.
Yeah, he's a Bex is just like, that don't mean shit.
Well, no, I will say this: when I lived down in Virginia,
Right,
I met not one but multiple like trailer trash women who were like white women.
she looks mad trailer trash, by the way.
Yeah, she looks like she could have lived down there. They drop N-bombs, and I said, "Fucking excuse me,"
Yeah.
and they're like, "It's all right, my man's black," and I'm like, "That does not give you the fucking right."
Motherfucker, see, but this is the problem with using the N-word, and I suffer from this affliction, but if we use it, it gives everyone the gate to use it. So until we completely remove it from our dialect, fuck you if you feel some type of way about this shit where it's like, no, it's our word. You're an idiot. Go fucking suck on Jay-Z's cock. If we use it, people are going to use it as well. That's a bottom line, right? It's this whole argument of we're reclaiming the word. That's not some shit I want to reclaim. Yeah, let me ask you a question, Mantis. If you got herpes, or if your family, the people you come from, had a history of getting herpes inflicted on them, would you at some point try to reclaim herpes? Would you try to say this is our venereal disease?
Okay, wait, that is funny. That's fucking that's hysterical. If anyone is listening, it's fucking hysterical. You should be laughing at home. But like, no, but you know why? You know why it checks out though?
What, herpes or the N-word?
No, this reappropriation. So it's you.
Oh my god!
You know why? Because you see it with other fucking phenomenon. So
what? No. Do you see this with other races? Do you see Asian people using their slurs as a way to identify?
Asian people don't. However, homosexuals, homosexuals with the F bomb, and women.
They don't fucking count in this conversation. I'm talking about people groups, motherfucker. They don't.
Yo, gays are people groups.
Yeah, they are people groups, but it's not a racial slur. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit.
Yo, the F slur is like pretty bad. Sure,
okay, so let's use it in a democratic.
I've seen them use it amongst themselves. They call each other the, and I'm like,
wait. Hold on for a second. So, okay, we'll give it to the LGBT community. All of them, but we'll count them as one group. Do you hear the Jews call each other by the K word?
I assume not.
Okay. So do you hear the Asians call themselves by the plethora of different slurs?
We can't.
Okay, so that's
we can't put Asians in the same boat as this because they think they're better than us.
No, we can because we can. So that's two groups, right? What about the Hispanics and or Latinos? Do they use the S word or any slur to identify themselves predominantly in a conversation?
I think they might.
No, they don't. So that's three groups, right? It's three groups versus two. If we're just going on a
at work, I'm gonna some people. I'm like, do you call each other?
When Mantis shows up to the show next week with a bunch of stitches on his face, making an apology video, like, my name is Mantis. And I did not know how insensitive my statements were going to be.
Maybe, I don't know. I got to research this. I need to ask some.
Research it, motherfucker.
Black people want to gatekeep the stupidest things, says Bags.
Yeah. Talking about the N-word. We won't gatekeep the things that make sense, but we'll gatekeep that shit. Let's let this beautiful albino.
I really respect the African culture. I had no ill will or malice towards any of that. But it sounded absolutely awful. It was so cringy.
It doesn't sound awful. It's
so
making a big deal.
It was stupid. It was stupid. Okay, now let's talk about my Africans was the other one, and then the joke about Blessing being late. So one thing that they cut out from that clip was that Nick Fuentes did say after, I'm just giving you a hard time. I'm just kidding. Okay. Now, even so, it was still in poor taste. And what I didn't think about.
Did he make a black people are always late joke?
Sorry, for those that didn't see it. Basically, Nick Fuentes,
he cannot
talking
make
about
that joke.
He's always late. And I said, you're on time today. oh, Blessing was the one that's late. And it's sort of an inside joke here at Just Pearly Things. Like Blessing is just, he's phenomenal, but he's a late guy. And every time he comes in, he says African time. Now, Pearl me. So when I was referring to him during this joke, I was like, African. Now, I was saying African time, referring to what he says when he comes in. Now, what I realized is this was especially disrespectful because we did have someone that's a known white supremacist race. Like, making that joke in front of him, with him, is just in poor taste. And I did apologize to him for it. I really had no malice or ill will. But, stupid. It was just stupid. Okay. The next thing is, I've gotten a lot of criticism for, using the Black culture and then I'm going right and leaving it, like that sort of thing. You can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but that seems to be a big point of contention. My intention was never to be, quote unquote leader in the Black manosphere or the manosphere in general. I really have always just looked at the men as the leader. I mean, they're the thought leaders. Let's just be honest. And
this is the recovery. This is the recovery right here.
I try to support them in any way I can. I bring them on my show, but saying I'm a leader in the space, I feel like women follow, men lead. So I really think, yeah, that's just my opinion. Now, the other thing was the demographic of the women on my show. Guys, I haven't done recruiting in months. So when I started, I never expected it to blow up this fast. I never in my life thought I'd have 1 million subscribers in a year. I wrote my goals for the year before and it was 100,000. I thought I'd maybe get 100K by the end of the year. Okay, that's what I thought. Now, everything blew up so fast, and I haven't done recruiting since maybe July. The only time I have is maybe to help out if we're low on a show. So or if there's a really big panel, like the Andrew Tate panel, I handpicked everyone that was on that. But in general, guys, I really don't recruit. I think one reason that
she's Karen Page,
there have been so many Black people on the show is because the recruiter that I picked was Nigerian. And he just had the type of job that he could recruit while he went on the job.
Oh my God.
All
right. I can't do it. There's one thing I can't deal with. There's a few things, but a poorly thought out argument and a long apology. I can't do it.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. So I'll tell you this. The best thing I got out of this entire thing is that I now know to never make an apology video.
Right.
The Mantis will never make an apology video.
Apologize for shit.
Yeah, because
we'll be accountable, but we ain't apologizing.
Nick Frenchman comes on here. Well, one, I'm going to call him out for being a prick. But another thing, I'm not apologizing for shit. And I see her scrambling for apologies of every little fucking thing. That's weak sauce. That's weak sauce McFloss.
Yeah, just be accountable for what you said. Like, yo, this is what I said. That if it truly wasn't your intent, then state that clearly and be like, yeah, that was not my intent. I'm not here to take over the Black manosphere. I'm not here trying to be a culture vulture. I was making a correlation and my argumentation was poor. Like, or my the representation in my argument was horrendous. That's all you got to do. Like, I was trying to say that I think that liberals, that's what I think she was trying to say, is that she thinks that liberals use slavery and embellish upon it to control people, which I still think is idiotic.
What? Huh? You don't think that's true?
The embellished, holy shit. No, my wedding ring. At any rate.
What are we watching right now?
Yo, I gotta stop playing with this thing on air. Pause.
You were falling apart over there. This is what happens when we go over 2 hours, this has been an amazing episode.
Hey, Gator Zone joined in, says, question. What's your question, Gator Zone? So here's my thing, right?
Yeah, please let us know. What up?
Do I think that liberals use slavery to try to control the conversation to invoke a feeling in Black people all day, every day? Do I think that revisionist history is true, where they're saying slavery wasn't as bad as it's been presented, well, then that's the proof of burden's on you. Show me the example where it was not as bad as it's being presented.
I agree that I don't understand where she's coming from, or anyone. I don't make any argument about history. You know why? Because I wasn't fucking there.
Nope.
I will say that the liberals definitely play up racism to create white guilt. White guilt, like I've said this before, white guilt will make the smartest fucking white person in the world act like a fucking idiot.
And sitting around apologizing you.
Yeah, they're like, did I tell you tell you at church? Like someone walked up to me and they're like, I saw this documentary on Haiti, man. So fucked up what they did to your people, blah, blah. And they're going on and on and on. And I'm like, how's it going, bro? Like, I don't want to fucking hear this right now. But it makes them a babbling they don't know how to deal with minorities.
You should have responded with like, oh yeah, it's okay, man, because we slaughtered everyone in their sleep. And then forced them into the
revolution, man. But it is crazy. I really can't stand watching someone go through white guilt. It's sad, it's pathetic, it's beta.
Wait, hold on for a second. Gator Zone says, why did the suspect enter the church office first? Ooh, we're 2 hours and 20 minutes in. Fuck it, I'm willing to go pause long on this one.
Let's talk about this.
Let's talk about this, man. So
it's funny, we've hit up so many topics. We actually had not actually hit up this topic.
So, but let's take the fucking kid gloves off for an After Dark episode. So the narrative has always been around, and I hate the word narrative because of how loaded it is, but the conversation, whatever you choose, what word you choose, around mass shootings has always been it's some repressed conservative motherfucker. Today, the liberals need to deal with something. You motherfuckers who are the liberals need to deal with this. The person that ran up in that Christian school, identified as a male, if I have the story correct, and was born a biological female, you got to deal with that shit. The same way we put that fucking jacket on the conservatives, you got to deal with that shit. They ran in a Christian school, killed 3 fucking babies. There is no way around this conversation. If this is some anti-Christian nonsense, shame on you if you try to defend it in any way, shape, or form. Why did this person run up in the school? Mantis, the views expressed by Steve are Steve's views alone. So you want to come after anyone? Fuck you and your mother. I'm going to say it right now. Here's the deal. If this was a crazy blue-haired liberal that ran up and that was antithetical, had an antithetical bone in their body in regards to Christianity, you've lost your stance in the argument that this is a conservative, repressed Christian issue. This person killed 3 babies and 3 adults.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what they identified as.
And so, I'm not trying to make the person seem any better than they were, but Gator Zone, I assume they went into the administration portion of the building, like the church office, because they were looking for adults to kill.
Yes.
They were looking for clergy or adults or whatever. They
were looking for people to kill.
And when they couldn't, then they decided to prey on innocent little children, which is
babies. 9-year-old babies. 9-year-old babies killed. How this person identifies or whatever mental issues they were dealing with, I'm going to use the same argumentation that we use in regards to that psychopath that ran up in the school in Connecticut and killed all those babies. I'm going to use the same argumentation. Oh, wait. Oh, shit. I just realized something, Mantis. This is not the first time this has happened, right? Because the person who killed all those brown and white babies in Texas also allegedly might have been involved in some things that identified that he or they or she to this community. But that talking point got buried quick, fast, in a fucking hurry. And motherfuckers were deplatformed for bringing it up.
Bringing it up.
But if it's relevant in one conversation, it's relevant that he was a tiki torch carrying fucking idiot in that conversation. It's also relevant what this person identified in this conversation. You can't say otherwise. I don't.
Yeah, I'm not going to mention this person's name, the person that they identified the shooter, but apparently they wrote a manifesto and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So we're in the coming days, we're going to hear more about it. about why they did what it is. But in terms of like the thought process, Gator Zone, I don't think we can understand what they were doing. I assume they're just looking for clergy to kill, because I think it's almost clear that they had an anti-Christian agenda on their mind.
Right.
Obviously, for those who are not following, obviously in Tennessee there was a school shooting, and it was a biological woman, identifies as male, ran up in there with assault weapons, more than one in their possession, and killed
babies.
Yeah, killed 3 children, elementary school ages, and 3 adults. In the thing before the police shot them and took them out.
100%.
Tragedy, horrible.
100%. Horrible. So now the liberals need to deal with this, right? So what do we suspect is going to happen in the next week? There's going to be a differentiating between.
There's going to be spin and manipulation, and they're going to be like, well, they're going to be like, they weren't really trans, or they're going to be like, or this one. I've already heard this one from some people. They're like, if they're anti-Christian, they were probably abused by Christians.
Yeah.
They didn't understand them, which doesn't justify murder in any way.
Yeah,
does not justify murder. But obviously, I think those are the big ones. They're going to try to argue whether they're not trans,
right,
or that they were abused or something.
Exactly. I mean, I'm glad we touched on it. It is a tragedy. I don't want to make light of the situation at all, but here are the things I'm taking away from this situation, right? More babies are dead. More innocent adults are dead. These people did not deserve the wrath of whatever you were going through mentally or felt society was pushing on you, whether you be a conservative identifying motherfucker or some crazy motherfucker. Both crazy people in my scenario. Innocent people died behind this bullshit. So, but here's the interesting thing, Mantis. All right. You ready? We're going to end on this one. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
Will the conservatives turn this into a talking point for gun control now that it's hit home on them?
No, they're not at all. Are you kidding me? They are going to turn this into a talking point, unfortunately, against trans.
Yeah.
They're going to use it. They're going to use it to be like, look, this whole gender ideology stuff is what makes people crazy. And so, an example is, since Columbine, the only other female shooter that they've also had in the history.
Wait, was there a female shooter in Columbine? I didn't know that.
No, not in Columbine. But they're saying basically what they believe is Columbine. There were always school shootings. There was always that. But it was always so far between, they didn't think it was a phenomenon. And Columbine seemed to set off some sort of social contagion where it just started going like this. However, the only other female was also trans. And so there's, this could be an argument for all sorts of things. And I notice that people are very interested to know if she was on testosterone.
I would be interested to know that as well. I would also like to know why shootings in schools in the hood aren't considered school shootings. Just want to throw that out there, stir the pot a little bit. Motherfuckers,
you know why though, but
I just want to know. Maybe you dye your hair blue. You can explain it to me why these have not widely. Last year, we had a school shooting in the hood that was named as a actual school shooting, like in the narrative that's used around these things. But motherfuckers have been getting shot in schools for a long time in impoverished neighborhoods.
I'm gonna say it. The thing that they're trying to associate with school shootings is an abnormal shooting. They're like, why does a well-adjusted person flip out? And their argument is that minorities are not well-adjusted. And they're like, we expect them to shoot each other up. So but in these white schools, we don't understand why this would happen.
We don't understand why this is happening. So you're using the Nolan argument from The Dark Knight, which is when a mayor gets killed, everyone flips out.
Everyone flips out, but like
gets killed, no one gives
nothing.
a shit.
Yeah, exactly. People expect it from the hood. They expect soldiers to die. Right. But when that's a well thought out, man. Good reference. Blammo.
Blammo.
That's fanboy modeling school. shit right there. But why go to school? Why go to a school to do that? So I assume the psychology. Here's what I'm saying: if Mantis was to ever lose his mind, right, and go on a killing spree, I would hunt men like they were animals. I would meticulously choose my men and slowly murder them over time. However, what the only way that people have talked about in terms of attacking schools is that they want a big body count, so they're looking for the weakest prey. As for me, I don't understand why you'd ever want the weakest prey. That's pathetic and beta, and it's pathetic.
I have a differing view, not really differing, but I have a different view. When it comes to school shootings, I think that the person that's doing the school shooting is looking for the way to most impact society. So to me, the hold up TV, killing a child, no matter they be from the age of infant or fetus, shots fired, to a senior in high school, killing someone in that gap is truly one of the most horrific things you'll ever see. And if you're someone who's trying to propagate the notion of evil or make a statement, killing a child to this day and point is going to resonate with people.
It's so sad. It's so fucking pathetic.
Unless you're fucking Alex Jones and pretend like the whole fucking thing didn't happen.
Well, remember, he was paying, he made money off of pretending the shit.
Obviously, he fed his base. But that's why it happened. I refuse to believe anything other. The death of innocence is always represented in a child. And that's from the ages of fetus to 18.
The police said she drew maps and made plans. The police also said the victims were shot.
Read the comment correctly. The police said he drew maps.
However,
she's a she.
Yeah, he's a she, so I'm going to say she because she's biologically a female, so she is a she. The police said she drew maps and made plans. The police also said the victims were shot on the second floor, but the video shows a suspect wandering around aimlessly until 2 minutes before he was shot. I don't know.
Hold on for a second. Go to the bottom comment right there. I need to read it to make sure I respond correctly. School shootings in the hood, quote unquote, are usually specific targets, not so many just random disassociative humans with guns. Man, that is the worst type of response. No disrespect, Gator Zone. Are you suggesting in any way, shape, or form that this was not premeditated? That this person, this woman, repeat, this woman that showed up to kill these children and these teachers, or that psychopath that killed all those babies in Texas, or the many other shooters before that with their notes prior to were random? No, this wasn't random. It was premeditated. That is the exact opposite of random. If you made a plan and you had the exits mapped out, it disqualifies itself as random.
What I believe Gator Zone is saying is that in the shootings in the hood, whether it's a gang related or whether it's issues of drugs or some other criminal enterprise, they have specific targets. Like, I'm gonna get George, blah blah, right?
No. As a anyway, let me not indict myself. Nothing that happens when it's associated to a gang is random. Even if the people who were shot,
that's what they're saying. They're saying the gang stuff is not random, but what they're saying is these people go into the things and they're going to shoot whoever shows up in their way.
It's the same principle, because a lot of kids who get sprayed in the gang shot at the school were not targets.
Right.
A point was being made. Initiation was happening. Same thing with the school shootings. Random and
I agree. I agree with that in terms of like gang related stuff. Innocent people are constantly shot.
Yeah,
kids that they didn't mean to shoot all the time end up in the spray. So I don't know why they organize one way and another. The Parkland shooter had a list of targets. There we go.
And that's no smoke at you, Gator. That's no smoke at you. That's no smoke at you. Welcome. You're most welcomed here.
I definitely can't guess as to why anyone is picked. I don't understand the mentality of a school shooter.
Right.
Because I would actually want to I would, like I said, I would want to hunt strong opponents. Not weak.
Gator says that's the difference though. Bystanders and random victims should be categorized differently. Yeah, no. I think we allow too many things to slip because we want to categorize it differently, but I think they fit the same definitional term. The intent was to cause mayhem and murder, right? If you shoot into a group of people, the victims may be random, but the intent was the same. If the intent was to go into school and kill anyone that you came across, that's the intent. There's no difference between a gang shooting and a school shooting. Both were evil and they should be treated accordingly. In fact, I'm going on the record right now. School shootings and quote unquote random gang violence should all be treated as hate acts, in my opinion.
Well, you believe in hate statutes?
Yes, I believe that gang shootings should be treated as crimes of hate. You trying to tell me if you're repping a Blackstone or you're a folk or a blood or a Crip?
I don't believe in hate statutes at all. So
no, I'm just using the terms that people have
right. But like personally, just for my own personal politics, here's what I'm saying. I feel like there should be no difference between someone wants to murder you for your money or someone wants to murder you because of the color of your skin. I think there's no difference. They should get the same time in prison. A lot. Listen,
I hear what you're saying. I don't deal with what should be. I deal with the argument that's laid out in front of me. But I agree with your point to a point. I believe that if I spray a swastika on a synagogue, that's a hate crime, right? So if I go to a school and put gang paraphernalia up underneath the guys that I hate these people, that should also be a hate crime. In the world I envision where things are truly equal, you would find yourself in a respite of peace if Steve ran your life and ran this great country.
Steve for 2024. Because in my perfect world, a swastika would still be graffiti, as would a gang sign.
Right. No, and I get what you're saying, man. I say let's try them under all the same standards.
Yes, let's try them all. I agree with you. You pose an amazing argument. Just the idea that you're right. Why isn't gang shootings or gang violence in the hood considered the same anomaly?
Yeah,
they look at school shootings. They're like, what is it? I don't understand it. But they don't try to understand the shootings in the hoods at all. They're not trying to understand. They're trying to lock motherfuckers up.
There's not a think tank or an SMBC trying to figure out. RM says, when I was at PS 87, shout out to PS 87.
PS 87 is the place for school.
About a house falling into principal. RM's using names.
Yeah, I envisioned a lot of chaos too, but you don't act on it. I mean, I maybe I'm a psychopath, but
you are.
Don't we all just envision violence and madness and chaos all the time?
I mean, yeah, but when you step over into the you're about to get into a very philosophical argument right now. You step over the threshold of pretend and fantasy once you commit the act.
Yeah. So, but I'm saying I think it's normal. If someone's worried, they're like, I think I'm a weirdo because I dream of my boss getting hit by a car. I dream of that same thing.
Wait, fuck you.
You know what I mean. I mean, those other motherfuckers.
Those other motherfuckers. I get you.
But but we all do. So you don't feel that weird that you have that fantasy. I think we all do. But when you take it to another level, like I can't believe that this person actually armed themselves and actually went to a school to cause such chaos.
Oh, you know what we didn't talk about tonight, man, and it's completely irrelevant at this point. Maybe we're talking to it next time. Some police officers are suing the rapper Afro Man. I believe that's the dude that made that song Because I Got High for using a police video
of them falsely raiding his house.
Yeah.
They thought they were going to find a marijuana farm, and they raided his house, and he had all these security cameras, and then he took all that footage and he put it on his latest video. And they're suing him. They have the audacity to sue.
That's absolutely amazing. That's the best troll ever.
That's fucking crazy.
That's the
But
best
I'm saying the
troll.
audacity of the cops to even they need to take their L's, man.
Yo, you know what? I would be suing those fucking cowards down in Texas that didn't save those babies. Get in there, as Star said. Take a slug to the mug. Show me that you believe the emblem on your chest. What are you talking about? You're waiting for the commissioner to give the green light. Where are the heroes?
Yeah.
Where are the heroes?
You remember that school shooting where this is the most fucked up shit. They were reviewing the ways that everyone acted, and so a bunch of police didn't do anything, and they're like, fuck these guys, they're assholes, they're in trouble, right? And then they looked at this one woman, and she was a state trooper, and the video shows, check this out, she drives up to the place, gets out, opens up her trunk, takes out a shotgun, and immediately runs in. But she didn't take her vest. And because that's against the rules, she got in trouble too.
Bro, there's footage of an off-duty police officer. I want to say it's in Brazil, dropping her kid off, and some guy runs up, and he's either trying to shoot or grab a child. I believe it was who was trying to shoot, and she laid him down. And I was like, yes. Whenever I drop my kids off, my eldest son off at his school, there's always the security guard who I believe is former PD. Not PD, but former sheriff, and there are multiple sheriffs around the school. Now, my son's school has been marred in some accusation of racism. Not even an accusation; it was outright racism. So they're on the uptake right now. Like, they're trying to get back. Some kids did some racist shit to a young lady. They got in trouble for it. They deserve to get in trouble for it. But I'm always so grateful to see an actual police presence at the school. And in retrospect, when I went to school in Chicago and South Shore, I'm happy that there were cops there protecting me from the gangbangers. Straight up and down.
I'm going to say it like this. Everyone wants to they're like, let's ban weapons. Let's do whatever. Let's have crazy rules, whatever. The truth is, if we have Fort Knox, right? And Fort Knox, we can make it where almost no one can breach the threshold of Fort Knox,
right, to
get to the gold. We could do that with our kids.
Our most important resource, 100%.
I would say we could easily financially do that, where we had enough security and stuff to protect our kids, when no weirdo, no stranger is going to be able to just walk into the school. I think 9 times out of 10, that's the thing that blows me away. A stranger is able to walk into the school and walk around the school.
Yeah, 100%.
Before they even brandish a weapon. That's just nonsense.
It's absolutely strange to me, and I don't understand it. We're talking about babies. No matter what your political leanings, babies don't deserve to die for anyone's political beliefs. Anywhere. But it's been another episode of Fanboy After Dark. Did you have fun tonight, my brother?
I had an amazing time. I think we killed it right now.
I had a great time. You know, I love to let this shit out. I'm usually repressing it. I'm like, I'm not going to say anything that's going to offend anyone.
That's why episodes over 2 hours are good, because we're both able to get loose enough to just be free. Be free and just let it out. Just let our truth out.
Oh, motherfucker. Motherfucker. Yo, you heard it here from me first. You don't have a personal truth. You have an experience. You don't get your own truth. You don't.
I have my own truth.
No, you don't. You have a life experience that's personal to you.
According to my truth, this episode's about to end. Dragon Lady says good night, y'all.
You know who else says that type of stuff? The people in stray jackets. My truth says, or the motherfucker running up in the building.
My truth is I'm the king of England. Max says, fangirls for fanboys. I love it when she says that. Our buddy Gator Zoned, my wife doesn't even want to hear my shit.
That's right. Man. Gator Zone, if you're not subscribed already, will you please subscribe?
Please subscribe to it. Come back in. We love having you, bro. We're ending this episode. Do you have Steve, do you have any shout outs or plugs to do for this?
So today is Monday, so that means tomorrow night we got an episode of Conversations That Matter. We are getting the Dragon Lady interview. I finally finished editing it. Got to get it over to Dragon Lady so Dragon Lady can enjoy that and then approve it for upload. But tomorrow night, I'm going to have one of the members of Enough Said Radio on Conversations That Matter. And then hopefully next Tuesday, I'm finally going to get to interview someone who's a secret big part of my life, my barber, who is an amazing guy and has a great story and it's a great
A
conversation.
black man's barber is a very important part.
And he's white. He's white. He's a white dude. It is an amazing guy. He's amazing. He's Jewish. So before you start jumping on the bandwagon to diss him, according to the liberal rules, you can't say nothing bad about him. Unless you're Kanye.
I'm loving this.
I love it. I love it. More After Dark episodes. Or maybe should we just let fucking hey, you know who just went live on the app that will not be named? Your girl, Lady Diana. That's your homegirl, right?
Right. Yes, she is my homegirl. I hope she's having great. I gotta go to work tomorrow, so I'm gonna hit hey after this.
Sucker. Your boss sucks, making you work on a Tuesday like a simp. I'm off tomorrow.
Do you have any other shout outs?
Oh, Pillow Talk Thursday night, besides Conversations That Matters at 8 p.m. And then I'll probably do a request box. Hopefully I won't drink or do anything on, I'm sorry, not request box, Zenful nights tomorrow night. And then Thursday nights, 10 p.m. Pillow Talk with the Pink Princess Bex. And we're off tomorrow night for Blurs of a Feather. So I guess we'll be back next week for Blurs of a Feather. Pillow Talk will be moving to a different night from Thursdays, by the way.
Okay, does that have anything to do with me?
No, motherfucker, ain't got shit to do with you, conceited motherfucker.
Because everything is about me. Have you ever noticed that? Am I the only one who's ever noticed that everything revolves around me, and that like the reason people get up to even like take a piss has something to do with me?
Every time I've peed tonight, it had something to do with you. I was peeing on a picture of your face.
So for the week, I am not streaming at all. No live streams. I will keep doing YouTube. I'm taking the week. I'm gonna do a little change up to all my streams, and like I'm gonna set the schedule and like fix it good and all sorts of things. And so I just need a week with that. I just need a break from it. I do love you all. I hate it. I feel awkward when I don't stream.
Yeah, it's the worst feeling.
It's the worst fucking feeling. I feel
worst.
I feel like I've killed a baby. But on that note, we should go. But tune in next Monday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Brunch with the Fat Mantis premieres.
Looking forward to it. I showed up today, you piece of shit.
I wasn't. Here's what it is. I realized that the concept wasn't ready, but I do want to switch it up. I don't want it to just be like, you know.
Right. I want to
give the people something. You know what I mean?
I got you.
But yo, everyone, thank you for stopping in. We've got Dragon Lady, Gator Zones, RM, Princess Bex, Rogue Radio, RM, Shaolin Iceboxer, Low, and everyone else. I'm sorry if I'm Matt Cat, of course, Seeking Freedom, Lizzie Lou. We've just got a bunch of you guys. We love you so much. If we missed you, complain about it next week when you tune in. But until next time, ciao for now. Peace.